December. Moore reunites with current head coach Joe Brady, who was also his OC in Carolina. Also from Adam Schefter this morning, Pro Bowl edge Cam Jordan will hit free agency for the first time in his career, joining an edge class that also includes Khalil Mack and Trey Hendrickson.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Michael Bumpus out sick today. I promised Bump I would start the show by saying Bump is no longer, with us, which is a Bumpism, where Bump frequently says so-and-so's no longer with us to mean that they've departed in free agency or perhaps they're just not at work that day, and it scares everyone. So Bump is no longer with us. He will be back, though. He's just out sick today. Curtis Rogers, who's always in because he produces the show, is here in place of Bump, and we will get to a lot of baseball stuff, which I know you especially are always very excited to talk about.
For sure.
Beginning at 10:45, I think.
Yep.
But before we do, we have to talk about another receiver who could be out. Is Rashid Shaheed
what
gone
did we
too?
do wrong? What did we do?
I'm glad you're saying it because I didn't want to. You know how often I ask people if they're mad at me? I always think everyone's mad at me all the time. But I genuinely am like, Ken
what's
Walker's
going on
leaving.
Here? Yeah.
Rashid Shaheed's leaving. Like, what did we do? Do we smell funny? Did we offend someone?
They just won a Super Bowl. Is it because neither of them gave a speech at the parade, maybe?
It could be that. Maybe neither of them love wearing blue. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's a pretty basic color.
It's
a primary color.
And that eliminates a lot of NFL teams.
Yeah, that's true.
This from Adam Schefter. Rashid Shaheed is said to be not close to an extension with the Seahawks, and the expectation is that he will now test the free agent market. That from sources. Brady Henderson, friend of the show, said one agent I spoke with estimated that Shaheed, a key piece of Seattle's Super Bowl run, could get up to $18 million per year. Keep in mind, we were talking about like $18 million per year. The Seahawks are set to pay Cooper Kupp $13.5 million next season, plus have a massive extension coming at some point for Jackson Smith and Jigba. What's this mean, Curtis? That it doesn't sound like Rashid Shaheed's going to be here in 2026.
Yeah, the math just does not add up in bringing in a wide receiver on an $18 million a year deal when you're already paying Cooper Kupp $13.5, and as Brady points out, you've got JSN, that looming payday coming as well. It would be a luxurious thing, a luxurious signing if Rashid Shaheed were to come back here in Seattle. And trust me, I would love to have him back in Seattle. I mentioned it yesterday. He is my top priority to bring back now that Ken Walker, it would appear as though, is probably going to get a better payday elsewhere. But I think the Seahawks, Stacy, are maybe learning a thing or two from what they did post-Super Bowl 2013 in that, you know what? Maybe you don't have to pay everybody because that team, everybody got paid. Now, Golden Tate walked in free agency. Red Bryant walked in free agency. I wouldn't necessarily put those two guys as of the utmost importance to that Super Bowl team. Now, Golden Tate was a very productive receiver here in Seattle and then it eventually had an even better career leaving Seattle. But those were probably your two biggest departures from that team, whereas everybody got extended because they were all on their rookie deals. Earl, Sherm, Cam,
Russ, and Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby. I mean, Marshawn Lynch even got an extension too. But it got to a point in the years that followed that Super Bowl where you're paying so many guys so much money that you just didn't have enough to round out the roster and keep the incredible depth that made that 2013 team so special.
I'll say this, though. They did get back to a Super Bowl.
They sure did.
And I think that some people would be willing to absorb a painful cap situation in a couple years or not getting anything from, where there was potential to trade certain guys if it meant getting back to a Super Bowl with a chance to win it. So I don't know. I think you are correct in that they didn't end up dealing those guys. The only guy they did was Michael Bennett for like a late rounder to the Eagles. But I think that I've already said this, but this Seahawks team is going to have to carve a very different path, should they be able to get back to a Super Bowl. It is not going to look like the team that did it before,
Right.
returning so many of the same pieces. And I think that because faith in this front office and this coaching staff is so high right now, fairly, I think that people are like, oh, it'll get done. But they're in a pickle.
Right.
They're in a pickle at running back. They've got some decisions to make at wide receiver, and I actually think that this draft class will end up having conversations about it. Could be kind of a fun one for that. We've heard that from many draft analysts. That's coming later today. They've got to continue to add to defense. They've got to add some depth at corner. They have so many personnel decisions to make that I think counting on, oh, it's such a talented team, they can do it again. Well, wait a minute. You're going to miss some key pieces.
I think with every Super Bowl winner, there comes a tax to be paid for sure, and it's just not feasible to run it back with the exact same team. I also think in reading social media and in reading our text line and just kind of seeing like YouTube comments and whatnot, it does kind of seem like the fan base is a little bit worried about maybe 2026 not being up to the level of 2025. And you see the Rams make a big splash yesterday, and obviously that's going to make you examine your own roster and be like, well, why couldn't we do that? Why couldn't we go out and get Trent McDuffie? And it's like, well, they had 2 first-round picks to deal from. I think, too, the attachment of both Rashid Shaheed and Ken Walker being integral pieces to the Seahawks playoff run, and Shaheed having 2 huge moments in this season, the punt return touchdown against the Rams that started to swing momentum in that Thursday night win that really helped this Seahawks team take off after that, and then the opening kickoff return touchdown in the divisional round against the 49ers that set the tone for that game. And then Ken Walker was maybe your most important offensive player in the season's final month. Like, those 2 are forever going to have their fingerprints on a championship ball club here in Seattle. And let me tell you what, like, this city loves winners like forever and ever. Like, think about how beloved the 2013 Seahawks are. Think about how beloved the 95 Mariners are, the 2001 Mariners, like the 25 Mariners. Like, this town loves itself some winners. And to see 2 guys who had such a huge impact on the Seahawks Super Bowl run potentially leave in free agency, that's tough to swallow. Like, that's a bummer. But thinking back to how the Seahawks have kind of operated in free agency, like, they've never really been super aggressive in free agency. Last year, I think, was maybe the most aggressive they've ever been.
Yes, and prior to that, Dre Jones was their priciest signing.
Right. And look how that turned out.
Yeah.
He was cut right before free agency last year, if I'm not mistaken. So, yes, it is really frustrating to see 2 very talented players potentially leave. And I think another thing that it's hard to cope with is that the Seahawks have all this cap space. They're top 5 in available cap space, but then it's like, well, no, they need that for the guys that they're going to re-sign, the guys that they're going to extend. And once they're able to get those extensions done, then that money is probably going to dry up for the most part.
Let's go back to Shaheed. First, Joel Corey saying he expects plenty of competition.
Well, I'll put it this way. Viva Las Vegas. His connection is now the head coach for the Raiders, was his coordinator in New Orleans, and familiarity brings comfort. Denver supposedly had some interest in him last year. So I think someone is going to, and the Raiders have a ton of cap room. I think they may blow him away where it wouldn't make any sense for him to come back, unless he's just like, well, I like being in Seattle, and I'm willing to take less money to try to win another championship. But typically guys who are coming off the rookie contracts don't do something like that.
Yeah, sounds like he's gone. So, Curtis, A, was the trade worth it if he's gone? You got half a season from him. And B, what are you losing if he's gone?
Is it a fair price to pay a 4th and a 5th rounder for a Lombardi trophy?
Yes.
Yeah. It was absolutely worth
Absolutely.
it. It was 100% worth
Would
it.
make that trade
just as the Percy Harvin trade was worth it. That's a hot take of mine.
No, that's such a bad take. You and Mike have both said that, and I'm like, but Percy Harvin did not do nearly as much as Rashid Shaheed
He played
did for
like
this team.
5 games for the Seahawks, but his best performance in a Seahawks uniform came in Super Bowl 48.
They didn't even need that.
Sure, but it was nice to have.
Okay, sure, fine.
Yeah,
you know what? I'll allow it on the basis of
he
the
did
Super
that
Bowl
after
justifiable
punching
trade,
guys the night before, giving Golden Tate a black
and
eye.
the second part of the question: what are you losing?
You're losing the most dynamic returner you've had since Percy Harvin, maybe since like Leon Washington. I mean, Shaheed was nearly an All-Pro as a returner this year. I think he had 2 return touchdowns for the Seahawks, or 3. It was unlike anything
3.
we've seen out of that position here in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Him being that home run threat, no matter it be as a receiver or as a return guy, that is a special thing to have on the offensive side of the ball. And the fact that, too, he didn't really produce his first month here in Seattle, just kind of, feeling
Quiet
it out,
start.
feeling the offense out. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, the way they unleashed him. It was so much fun every time he touched the ball, probably in like the months of December and January. That's what you're losing. And the Seahawks having the best special teams unit in football, it was a really good unit before Shaheed got here, but acquiring him put it over the top to where not only did you have a great kicker in Jason Myers, a great punter in Michael Dixon, but then you also had maybe the best return man in the game in Rashid Shaheed. Like, we saw it every single playoff game. Special teams played a huge role in that game. Shaheed with the opening kickoff against the Niners, the muff punt recovery against the Rams, which sprung the Seahawks in that game, and then Michael Dixon and Jason Myers both having incredible games in the Super Bowl. So special teams in Seattle meant more to them than than nearly every other team in the league.
Absolutely agree. And another thing that led to that Super Bowl win, I want to get to your earlier point when you said, look, I think one thing that Seattle and John Schneider really lamented is not moving on from some of those guys and not refreshing the team. And I do want to highlight that, to me, it's such a delicate line to walk, because what I tend to see a lot of, and this isn't chastising anyone, it's just a point I disagree with. What I tend to see a lot of is, oh, you're losing this. You're losing Ken. Okay, well, you have McIntosh and Halani. Oh, you're losing Rashid Shaheed. Okay, well, you've got Torrey Horton. You, in my opinion, cannot only look at the pieces you have to replace them and, importantly, think that those pieces will be as good. Does it mean that I'm not excited about Torrey Horton? No, absolutely not. I'm really eager to see what he looks like in a healthy season coming back here, what he looks like as a returner, what he looks like on special teams. Fascinated to see that. Sky high expectations, great. But I think it also does a disservice to the job John Schneider's done to assume it's that simple. The Seahawks do have tough decisions to make. They will have to spend money. They will have to do things that make you uncomfortable, and it will be a gamble, because you cannot look at only the safe alternative that you already have and expect that that's going to get the job done.
Right, and I think that's a great point you bring up about
Thank you.
You're welcome. About promoting Halani and McIntosh and Horton into these roles being vacated by the looming departures of Ken Walker and Rashid Shaheed, is that, okay, let's say you do promote those guys into those roles. Where's your depth now?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have any depth. You don't have any depth if you do promote those guys. Now, the draft is coming. You only have 4 picks, but all of a sudden now, if you do the whole next man up thing, you're going to run out of men who are next up. Like, there's a problem there.
That's like what we were saying about
cupboard stock.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just got so fired up because it's what we were saying weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks ago, months ago now, about the Tampa Bay game, where everyone was like, should we be worried? Should we be worried? And it was like, well, no, it's you had so many backup pieces in, but your depth is only impressive when they're not your starters.
Right. Exactly.
Otherwise, they're just less good starters.
We saw Baker Mayfield carve up the Seahawks defense. And, I mean, if you had told somebody heading into that, because, I mean, the Seahawks defense was good all throughout this season, but, like, Mayfield had, 4 incompletions that day? Like, it was absurd, the kinds of throws he was getting off, and just felt like a repeat of the Lions game the year prior, where Jared Goff had a perfect game against the Seahawks.
Why'd you bring that up?
I'm sorry.
We were having a nice
Look,
Thursday.
they won the Super Bowl. Let's not forget that. They're Super Bowl champions. Let's not forget that. I always like to remind myself of that every now and then.
Having a bad day?
Yeah, I'm having a bad day, or, it's kids are whining at me, and I just kind of, take a deep breath, and it's like, hey, they just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, we're less than a month removed from that.
And no one can take it away from you for another calendar year. So it's like, in November, you can still go, we're the last team to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you going to say?
And then they're going to be the first team kicking off the next season, too.
That's exactly right. We have a lot to get to today, focusing primarily on Seahawks in the first half of the show, though we are getting to some interesting stuff about Dan Wilson at 10:45, and then we'll transition to a bit more baseball and some other top stories right now. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, real
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, the Patriots are releasing Stephon Diggs after one season in New England. What's the real headline?
Released by the Patriots and Cardi B. That's a tough month. That's a tough. He really fumbled that one.
Yeah, he did. He's very
Mercurial.
sure. That's the word. I was gonna say prolific in his off the field prowess. Activities. But yeah, I mean, he was just going to get too expensive for the Patriots. I think his cap number was going to be like $26 million this upcoming season. He'll be on his 4th team in 4 years. Crazy talented. Like, he's kind of building, I mean, close to a Hall of Fame career in a way. I mean, he's really, really talented, but he just has kind of become this headache that I don't think teams are going to want to deal with.
Wide receivers are dominating the league in guys who are building Hall of Fame careers but may not get in because they're controversial. Antonio Brown.
Yes.
Like guys that have some of the most amazing production we've seen, some of the coolest on-the-field moments we've seen that are just so incredibly controversial off of it for myriad reasons that you're like, is he going to make it? By a long shot, wide receivers running away with that category.
Oh, yeah. That category is going to be really hard to determine who is and who isn't a wide receiver over the next, 20 years when it comes to Hall of Fame voting. Because Diggs right now, 32 years old, has over 11,000 yards in his career, 75 touchdowns. Those are staggering numbers. But you look at the guys in front of him that are in the Hall of Fame, like Torrey Holt, it's going to be a pretty tough hill to climb. Yeah. Antonio Brown as well. His off-the-field stuff, I think, is going to factor in greatly to any Hall of Fame candidacy.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Aaron Rodgers says there's no deadline for him to make a decision on his playing future. What's the real headline?
Just the way Aaron likes it.
You know what I think he's really looking forward to about being an unrestricted free agent right now?
Conversations about him being an unrestricted free agent right now?
Yes, and also you can go back to doing Pat McAfee hits because the Steelers can't tell him no.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, because he was on yesterday. He was on talking about his wife, air quotes.
She's real, Curtis.
Okay.
She's real.
So you say. I think, though, he just loves having his name out there. And look, who among us, if not given a deadline for something.
Who you're talking to right now.
Yeah,
I love being the center of attention.
Right. Well, and also, if none of us are given a deadline, how many of us actually do that task in the first couple of days? Never.
Not at all.
It doesn't happen.
Never.
If Brenna tells me, hey, when you get a chance, can you take these bags out to the storage?
That's a trick, so that you know.
And it's when I get a chance, okay, that'll be a week from now.
It's a very polite way to say, hey, right now, can you stop what you're doing and go do this?
And I mess up. I do. And then all of a sudden, those bags are still in our living room. Those bags are still in our living room 4 days later, and I just hear can you please take these out? And it's oh, you meant now?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was your warning shot.
I can go do it.
That first one is just, hey, if you wouldn't mind, can you X, Y, and Z means mind.
Yeah.
Mind right now. Yeah.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, Adam Schefter reports the Bills are reportedly close to acquiring wide receiver DJ Moore from the Bears. What's the real headline?
Does this mean no Rashid for Buffalo?
Well,
they were a favorite.
And I would say DJ Moore has a very similar skill set to Rashid Shaheed. He's kind of a burner type. I like this move for Buffalo. And also, Chicago's just dripping in wide receivers. They've got Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, Roma Dunze.
I didn't realize it was that close with so many of them.
Yeah,
they had 700.
They had 4 guys eclipsed 600 receiving yards last year.
And all within 100 yards of each other.
Yeah.
So I was thinking they traded their top receiver. He wasn't even their top pass catcher.
No, he was not. And Odunze finished around that 600-yard mark probably would have been their leading receiver had he played a full season last year. I like this move for Buffalo. They need pass catchers in the worst way.
I think they need more. Did you see Adam Schefter's tweet? He goes, Josh Allen's weapons right now, and it's like DJ Moore at the top, and then he goes through Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, like everyone else they have. And it's like, the problem is that 4 of these 5 were his pass catchers last year, and it wasn't enough. I don't think they're done adding. I don't think they should be done adding.
Right.
I think they should still be looking in free agency and the draft.
And one of them, Keon Coleman, just raked over the coals by Brandon Beane and Terry Pagula, the GM and owner in Buffalo. So, I think the Bills are definitely still hunting for more receiver help. DJ Moore played under Joe Brady in Carolina in the 2020 season, had 1,200 receiving yards, close to 1,200 receiving yards, and averaged over 18 yards a catch. That was back in 2020 in Joe Brady's offense. So maybe a nice little reunion in Buffalo between those two sides.
Speaking of landing spots for Rashid Shaheed, what do you think about Joel Corey saying, Vegas is calling? Looks pretty promising.
I think that is a very real possibility. Shaheed loves himself some Clint Kubiak, and the feeling, I think, is very mutual with Kubiak and Shaheed. I mean, you look at what the Saints were able to do in the first couple weeks of their season back in 2024, where they were putting up 40 points a game, and then everybody got hurt, and then all of a sudden their season fell apart. But, Kubiak was instrumental in that, and then coming here in Seattle, and just everything clicked. Everything worked last year. And even when it didn't work, it wasn't anything catastrophic. It was trying to incorporate Jalen Miller into the offense and stuff. And it was just kind of you got Sam Darnold really cooking this season. So let him throw it around. And then they added Rashid Shaheed to the wide receiver room, who actually turned out to be an important addition, not just in the kick return game, but in the receiving game, because Torrey Horton went down at the same time. I think if Rashid Shaheed is wearing any other uniform besides the silver and black next year, I'd be very, very surprised.
I mean, I'd be intrigued. There are a few spots where you're like, well, what if he goes to Kansas City? That's fun. And that's an easy to root for Rashid moment where you're like, you don't need to worry about Kansas City, really, until you face them in the Super Bowl. Most AFC teams, I know that, you're obviously going to face, them during the regular season, but I always find it easier to root for just fun combos. So, Josh Allen getting a cool target, Lamar getting a cool target are easy to root for.
Yeah.
It's just fun football to watch.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's mind immediately goes to, what Tom Brady was with Randy Moss.
Yeah.
And it's oh, man, you're giving this guy that receiver?
I still can't believe that team didn't win. It was the best
team I've ever seen in my life.
Best team any of us have ever seen, statistically.
Still didn't win, yeah.
Unreal. The Seahawks and Rams are betting favorites to win Super Bowl 61, but whose title window is most open right now? That's next on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
The madness tips off next week, and with it comes your chance to win the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Receive your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific, permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
With the experience of over 150,000 procedures, the doctors at K2 Vision will know which procedure is best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in 15 minutes, could we see more of this from Dan Wilson? We'll tell you what it is. Before we get to that, whose title window is more open, the Seahawks or Rams? Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus. And Curtis, the Seahawks and Rams have equal betting odds to win Super Bowl 61. It makes sense. These were I almost said decidedly, obviously the two best teams in football last season. By the end of the year. Now, during the year, you're having conversations about, Eagles roster's so good, and, what could happen here? You never know when the Bills could pop off. Nope, it was very obvious. It was these two teams gap everyone else, and that is how odds makers, but I think NFL fans see it heading into the year. But the Rams just made a trade for a star cornerback. Still have the number 13 overall pick. Still have a ton of talent.
Right.
Seahawks losing guys in free agency left and right. I think it's understandable. I can see why national audiences are wondering, maybe the Rams have a more open window right now.
I would say to those people who think the Rams title window is more open, slow your roll a little bit. And I think it has a lot to do with how much longer will Matthew Stafford be playing. Because ultimately, he's the biggest reason why the Rams title window is as open as it is, because he's the reigning MVP, was one of, if not the best quarterback in the league last year. He was phenomenal for the Rams in every way. And it's funny because we didn't even know if he was going to start the year for the Rams last year because he was dealing with that back injury where he didn't practice hardly at all during the week. But turns out he was fine. Kind of wonder what was in those shots they were giving him. But
I'm going to start a rumor.
There we go. But again, he keeps teasing retirement. Now, he did kind of squash that pretty early. What was it, at the NFL Honors, where he was like, I'm coming back, don't have to worry about me. But he teased retirement prior to the 2025 season. Who knows what it's going to look like after 2026. And they don't have anything in place beyond him at the quarterback position. Jimmy Garoppolo I think he's a free agent right now, if I'm not mistaken. So you don't even have him as a backup quarterback. I think Stetson Bennett is there as a third-string guy, but you don't have the heir apparent to Matthew Stafford. And if that means you only have 1 or 2 years left with him, then that's a pretty small window. Whereas I think the Seahawks, Sam Darnold is right now, as I see it, your quarterback of the future. He is the guy here in Seattle, and you've got so many guys who are on their rookie deals and who are getting their first contract, or their second contract, I should say, at the professional level. There is a lot more, I think, young talent here in Seattle than there is in LA. And also, what's that Puka Nacua contract going to do for LA?
They've got a tough decision to make too.
Yeah, it's going to tie things up. Is that a guy you invest $40+ million into with everything that he has been off the field over the last calendar year?
Now, this conversation is, of course, sparked in part by that McDuffie trade. Here's what Albert Breer said on Rich Eisen.
They've got a quarterback who is 38, and they've got a team with a ton of players who are on their rookie contracts and won't be cheap forever. So they've got some flexibility to do this, and that's guys, like Jared Verse, like Kobe Turner, like Braden Fisk, like Puka Nacua. They've got a ton of those guys that have become really good players for them at a young age. And right now, with those guys on rookie contracts, they got the flexibility to go and take a swing on this, when that's a credit to them for drafting as well as they have. I think, Trent is, anybody who's been around Trent McDuffie knows this is a all-pro player and an all-pro person. So there's not a huge risk here. You know what you're getting, and he's a scheme fit for what Chris Shula wants to do. His college coach, Jimmy Lake, is there. So all that checks out.
Wait, so a team that already had the best offense in football last year just got one of the best cornerbacks available for a defense that was already really solid. That was really their weakness, was just that their secondary wasn't as elite as the rest of the team. However, before you go anointing the Rams, Michelle Smallman of ESPN Radio had something to say.
We talked about how John Schneider, alongside Howie Roseman, as the best executive in football. We talked about Mike McDonald being an incredible leader and a football savant. I think the word genius was used a lot. We talked about Sam Darnold being excellent when it mattered. JSN, we talked about this defense. We said that this was an organization that was one of the best run organizations in football from any way you slice it. And then all of a sudden, the Rams make one move and we're like, I don't know about the Seahawks. We don't do this with other championship teams. I think we gave them their credit in the moment, but the way that we talk about other teams closing that gap and what we've done so quickly to them tells me that most of us think this was an outlier for Seattle and that they're not going to repeat.
Exactly. There's
that's a
so
great point,
much
Meyer. Yeah.
disrespect happening with the Seahawks, and I know that can be such a trite thing to keep saying, but it's absolutely correct. Michelle's right. There's a lot of moving of the goalposts, and that started way back. I mean, after their first game against the Rams, it was, okay, if they beat the Rams next time, maybe they're as good, but for right now, it's the Rams. Then they beat the Rams. Then it's, well, both teams are really good, but you really never know. They're probably going to meet in the playoffs. They meet in the playoffs. They beat the Rams again. And then, maybe if they win a Super Bowl, we can anoint them because the Rams more recently won a Super Bowl. Then they win a Super Bowl, and it's still, you can't overlook the Rams. The Rams were entered as a wild card team.
Yeah.
And they lost to Seattle twice. And before you go pointing to Sam Darnold throwing 4 interceptions, which he did in that first meeting, they also lost by virtue of Seattle not narrowly missing a field goal, but I mean, you're 10 yards closer. Seattle sweeps the Rams this year. So I think that there's so much goalpost moving. And in my opinion, Curtis, the way that people are talking about Seattle and LA is a way for people who hate being wrong, which is all of us, but to cover all their bases.
Right.
You get to say, oh my God, Seattle's this incredibly talented roster. Seattle's got a great head coach. Seattle's got a great GM, and be right about all of that. But you don't actually have to put your money on Seattle and put all your eggs in that basket. You then get to say, but the Rams are so good. Pick a path, man.
Right.
One team wins a Super Bowl. If you want to say, hey, Seattle's better than the Rams. I think their title window is more wide open. I think they are a better team. I think the Rams are great, but I think Seattle's better. Then say that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to cover all your bases just in case one of the two best teams ends up being better than the other or besting the other during the season.
Well, I think, too, one thing that the Seahawks have done better than the Rams over the last couple of years, I think, is get more out of their players. I think the Seahawks have outperformed projections in the first 2 years of Mike Macdonald's tenure by a significant margin. I mean, you look at just kind of what people were saying about the Seahawks in Mike Macdonald's first year heading into it. They're probably like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 wins. Like, I don't think they're going to be anywhere near competitive in the NFC West. Like the Rams were, ascending. The 49ers had just come off a Super Bowl appearance. Everybody kind of thought the Seahawks and Cardinals were going to be near the bottom of the division. That turned out to not be the case. The Seahawks, I believe, finished tied with the Rams in the standings. It's just that the Rams advanced on a tiebreaker to the playoffs last year. And then this year, the Seahawks exceeded everybody's expectation because I think a lot of us looked at it as maybe like a 9, 10, 11 win team.
So they see it as maybe flukish.
Yeah, but like if that is consistent year over year, then we should be expecting the Seahawks to outperform any expectation that they have coming into the 2026 season. And
good point.
I think when Michelle Smallman said, like, we're disrespecting what the Seahawks pulled off this season, I think that is something that is needing a reminder for a lot of people who cover the NFL. Like, look at what the Rams did in the playoffs and who they played and how they just survived the Panthers and they just survived the Bears and then lost to the Seahawks, whereas the Seahawks blew out the 49ers, beat the Rams, and then blew out the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Like, the opponents that they faced, like the Rams had a much tougher time with, I think, worse opponents than what the Seahawks faced in their road to the playoffs, where you had to face a 12-win 49ers team, a 12-win Rams team, and then a 14-win Patriots team.
Do you think it comes down to just the Rams offense, Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, that connection with Puka Nacua, and how brilliant Sean McVay clearly is just sexier than what Seattle puts out there offensively. I think it's a lack of value of a complete team. Like, yes. I think people see it as like, Seattle.
Well, McVay's been doing it longer than McDonald.
Exactly, which I totally get. And they've been to 2 Super Bowls, won one, but they've been to 2, and that's impressive. Like, they've been very consistently dominant. But I think that there's also some bias in here in terms of how we like to consume football. like what's sexy football to us, what's exciting football, what makes us feel as though a team is dominant. MVP quarterback throwing a ton of touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's what makes us believe in a team. And most of the time you're right. Like, you can be forgiven for believing in the Bills because they have Josh Allen, or for believing in the Chiefs when they have Patrick Mahomes, even when statistically they aren't the best team on the planet. Yeah, absolutely. I also think you're overlooking the importance of special teams, the importance of an elite defense. And despite how many times that continues to be proven true, that a defense will win and that a defense wins championships, we continue to go, I don't know. Like, we just talk about it. We just always say that, but we never actually find ourselves as NFL fans believing it.
Yeah. Well, and I think, what was it, McDonald, with the Pardon My Take guys, he said, he was asked, like, can a good offense beat a good defense? And McDonald, one-word answer, no. And, I mean, anybody want to prove him wrong?
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
You cannot prove him wrong after the season the Seahawks just had.
All right, we are going to jump to the NFL Draft at 11 with Mike Renner. Before we get to that, could we see more of this from Dan Wilson in 2026? That's next.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ Bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text RADIO to 64,000. Text RADIO to 64,000 to get your 20% off. That's RADIO to 64,000.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Let's talk about hockey. Don't you love a sport where it's almost fair game to throw off your gloves and bare knuckle it in that gray area? Hockey brings excitement, intensity, passion, often drinking. It's like a party with a puck. If you enjoy too many shots at the bar while watching slap shots on the ice, don't try to make a breakaway because the police won't just stonewall your goal. They're much more likely to throw you in that penalty box. And it won't be just a few minutes to think about what you did. Go ahead, enjoy cracking one open. Just don't overdo it. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com for your free private consultation. Hockey is one of the only sports where you can wrap around the goal and there's no out of bounds. But the roadway is a different story. Call 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY. Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
Ooh, that face. Quantum fiber internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Yay to Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of her video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum fiber internet blowing the socksies of all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only. Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. The stem cell therapy you did on my knee was a game changer. But Dr. Dan, people ask me all the time if you're seeing the same kind of success treating neck and back pain with stem cell therapy.
Great question, Brock. As you know from your experience, we've had tremendous success treating major joints like hips, knees, and shoulders, but we've also seen excellent results treating neck and lower back pain. In fact, we're the only clinic in the Seattle area offering image-guided stem cell and PRP injection therapy specifically for neck and low back pain.
How cool is that? If joint, neck, or back pain is holding you back, call Dr. Daniel Nelson at Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine and find out if stem cell therapy may be right for you. Dr. Dan here is the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. Call Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's 425-823-4000 or danielnelsonmd.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Haven't gotten to the Mariners today, so let's get to it. Adam Jude was on with Brock and Salk this morning, right?
Yes.
Talking from Peoria. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the players. We thought it would be more interesting to focus on what Adam had to say about ways that Dan Wilson could be a bit different in 2026. Take a listen.
Obviously, Jerry and Justin Hollander are much more of a modern front office, and they use the analytics as much as anyone in baseball. And so I think sort of getting that blend and getting Dan to understand and to buy into maybe a little bit more of the analytics. Again, you're trying to find that perfect mix, right? Dan's strengths are the old school and the approach and really building culture that was so important to him. I am curious, again, as the season plays out, is he leaning into more of the, again, specifically with the bullpen stuff, but is he more open to platoons than he was a little bit this last year? Is he more open to some of the modern thinking? That's where his, again, evolution probably needs to go. At the same time, you point at the winning the division for the first time in 24 years, getting to the ALCS. I mean, pretty darn good first season.
You need the trust of players. Mm-hmm. You need toughness that guys can respect. You do need to go with your gut sometimes. That's always very important. You do need a blend. You can't be only analytically minded and ignore how players are feeling or what they tell you. But are there times when Dan Wilson's stubbornness with that approach or reliance on that approach may have cost him, and he should have made a decision that Jerry and Justin think would have been more analytically inclined?
I think there are two bright and shining examples of that, and they're in pretty recent Mariners games. The obvious being Game 7 of the ALCS, the decision to go with Edward Bizardo in the 7th inning rather than your best reliever, Andres Munoz, in that spot. Against one of the most dangerous bats in that Blue Jays lineup, George Springer, a guy who has had the Mariners number for his entire career. And then go back a little bit further, the round prior, and how they handled Kerry Carpenter in that division series against the Tigers, where it was Game 1. You had George Kirby in the 5th inning. I believe there were 2 outs in the inning, if I'm not mistaken. And Kirby has been owned by Kerry Carpenter in his career. I believe to that point, Carpenter was like 5 for 11 with 5 home runs against Kirby, and then hits the bomb that gives the Tigers the lead at that point. And then, but what's interesting is that in Game 5 of that series, you did bring in the lefty Spire to face Kerry Carpenter, and then Carpenter took Spire out. But I think that was the right decision in that moment. But I think those two examples are things that, one ultimately cost the Mariners their season. Another could have ended up costing the Mariners in a big way. And we were talking about this before we hit the air, where it was like, that Tiger series was a lot closer than it needed to be.
Yeah, it did not need to go.
No, it did not need to go 5 games.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there were moments where you just thought, I kept hearing from people, it feels like Dan, there's a lot to love about him. He's already someone that Mariners fans love.
Yeah.
And I know that you were hearing this too, that it's like, it feels like he's managing it not like an October game where some of the rules do change. You might put in your closer in the 7th.
And he was going up against a manager in A.J. Hinch that has more October experience than darn near everybody in baseball.
And it was showing up early. Now, he managed the you-know-what out of Game 5.
Yes, he did.
But
credit to Dan Wilson for how he handled Game 5.
Yeah, but there were other moments.
Yes, absolutely there were. And I think it's also kind of like an example to all those fans that are out there. They're like, managers these days are just there to do what the front office tells them to do. And it's like, I don't know, Dan Wilson seemed to have a lot of freedom in his decisions that were made last year. Now, is this the Mariners kind of clamping down on Dan Wilson, being like, hey, like, we will let you have your freedom in decision making to an extent. Like, we'll let you set the lineup, we'll let you do all that. But like, when it comes to those really tiny, like, you know, matchups where it's one pitch, one at bat that could swing the momentum of the game, like, I think managing those with the level of importance that those situations call for, I think is something that Dan Wilson could stand to do better in 2026 for sure. I think, that, and how playoff baseball is played nowadays compared to what it was when Dan Wilson played. And like, Dan Wilson has a lot of playoff experience as a player, made the playoffs, I think, 4 times in his career, or 3 times in his career, something like that. And made it to the ALCS all 3 times that he made the postseason. But back then, guys, starting pitchers especially, were going 6-7 innings anyway, and it had a much more regular season feel to those games rather than now, where it's like, if your starting pitcher is in trouble, like I think of Luis Castillo in Game 4 of that series of the ALCS, where he just did not have it in the first couple innings. Like, give him the quick hook. Like, that is so much different than how playoff games were managed, just 15, 20 years ago.
I was curious about this part. Adam was asked if he'd ever heard from other players on this roster about that decision to go with Bizzardo in Game 7.
No, again, these are the guys, and I don't disagree with the sort of the foundation of Dan's explanation and thinking on all that too. This is the guy we've used in this spot all year. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't we go to him? And I think the players have believed in Bizzardo. Again, he was one of the best stories on the team, kind of out of nowhere. A guy was DFA'd a couple years before. He's a great story. To me, I even go back to Game 6 the day before. Like, I remember sitting in the press box. This was a 6-2 game, and they brought Bizzardo in. I was like, oh, well, you're obviously not going to use him tomorrow. And, there's no clean explanation for it. But from the player's perspective, I don't think they questioned it too much.
All right. Delicate balancing act. You don't want to ruin your relationship with players or change too much of what you've been doing.
Yeah.
You also don't want a repeat of Game 7.
Yeah. And also, I kind of wonder, like, Bizzardo was that guy in that spot for them all year. Like, he was their 7th inning guy. And I wonder how comfortable Munoz is coming out or coming into a game before a save situation. Now, I know a lot of people are kind of like, wow, what does that have to do with it? I don't know. I think maybe there's a little bit to it when it comes to these baseball players and their routines and just the situations in which they come in. I think maybe Dan Wilson kind of looked at that in that decision to go to Bizzardo in Game 7 rather than what the numbers should have told him in that spot.
Seahawks could be losing some key free agents, so how do they replenish in the draft? Joining us next, CBS Sports draft analyst Mike Renner.
Having one of those days where a little of this would make things so much better?
Fastball, strike 3 called. He got him looking. How about that for a Cactus League debut? Cade Anderson striking out the side.
We got you. You can stream every Mariners spring training game live for free on the Seattle Sports app. Making lives better through Mariners baseball, one
Goodbye, baseball!
at a time. Home of your American League West champion Mariners.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Seattle, want to win tickets to opening day? Emerald City Athletics is turning workouts into wins. Activate your free trial today and get automatically entered to win opening day tickets. Emerald City Athletics is more than a gym. They're locally owned and rooted in Seattle pride. For a limited time, try Emerald City Athletics for 29 days free and get entered to win opening day tickets. Visit emeraldcitygyms.com to get started. Emerald City Athletics, smarter fitness, real results, champion energy for all.
It took us 93 years to build this reputation, but it'll take just 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is a job for Sponsored Jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to A to Z Savings, our biggest sale of the year.
Happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with Duralast rotors.
Free. Really?
Really. Free.
I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah, how much is that?
Free with the oil.
Free. Really?
Really, free. It's part of A to Z savings with hundreds of deals.
From A to free.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Ends March 9th. Restrictions apply.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
DJ Moore is being traded to the Bills. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting Chicago stealing their star wide out to a wide receiver needy Buffalo team in exchange for a second-round pick. Chicago also sent a fifth-rounder. Moore reunites with current head coach Joe Brady, who was also his OC in Carolina. Also from Adam Schefter this morning, Pro Bowl edge Cam Jordan will hit free agency for the first time in his career, joining an edge class that also includes Khalil Mack and Trey Hendrickson.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. CBS draft analyst Mike Renner joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Mike, how's it going?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on.
We're happy to have you. I know a lot of listeners are wondering where Seattle should spend their limited draft capital this year. Now, we probably expect that John Schneider and his group will trade back. He loves to have as many bites at the apple as possible. But I am going to start by asking you about who you may feel, it could be a player or a position group, could be a great fit at, let's say, the top of the second round, end of the very first.
Yeah, so I'd probably just be looking at positions that are the strongest in this draft, because when you look at the Seahawks roster, obviously, when you win the Super Bowl, when you are, one of the best teams ever by like DVOA, you don't have a lot of holes. So I just think you're just adding talent wherever it presents yourself. So to me, the strong positions that then would present good value at those points would be wide receiver, cornerback, and linebacker. I think those three positions are probably three of the deepest in this draft class. Some other positions have higher end talent, but those ones have guys that, might go back end of the first, early second, that maybe in other years in weaker classes could go a little bit higher.
Mike, last year the Seahawks were able to find some key contributors with their first two picks, Gray Zabel, a guard in the middle of the first round, and then Nicky Manwuri at the top of the second round. Both guys play positions that aren't necessarily considered, in the hierarchy of positions, guard and safety, a lot further down than, say, like left tackle, quarterback, defensive line. Do you think the Seahawks maybe go that route again in their first couple of picks, or is this going to be maybe more of a meat and potatoes draft for them?
Well, I guess when you hit on both tackles in one draft, when you hit on a corner and a wide receiver in another, and when you hit on a DT in another, it's like they kind of did knock those valuable positions out the park. So I don't think, like if you draft a tackle, he's not going to play, right? He's going to play guard. So there are some positions that I don't think you're attacking the valuable ones just because there's a logjam. There's not even going to be an opportunity there. So to me, like I said before, I think I just attack the strong position. So it's not necessarily, I'm not necessarily pigeonholing myself into, going back to valuable positions per se, just because because you didn't do so last year.
Ken Walker, widely expected to sign elsewhere in free agency, and good for him making that money. But I think that people here in Seattle, Mike, at least from what I'm seeing from like texters or folks on Twitter, think, oh, well, the Seahawks, they've had good success with finding those guys in the draft. Maybe they can just go to the draft. But I'm also hearing it's not the best draft class for running backs. What can you tell me?
Yeah, it's a really bad running back draft class. They're obviously not going to be in play for Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, and that's probably the one guy who I would think even holds a candle to Kenneth Walker and his talent. So with Zach Charbonnet in the fold, I probably wouldn't force one on day two. There's really only a couple guys I'd even consider as day two running backs. And when that's the case, they usually end up going a little bit higher than they should because the desperation's still there and at certain positions for certain teams. So it's not like last year's class where there was tons of guys starting from day three. So it's just going to be a rough class if you really need one.
Mike, we're a few days removed from the Combine, but I'm sure you gathered all sorts of information from what we saw in Indianapolis. Is there maybe a player or two whose workout you got to watch that you just keep coming back to? It's like, wow, I was not expecting that. I need to dig in deeper here.
I think it's actually a position group that really, in my eyes, kind of solidified themselves as, oh, wait, this actually might be I won't say a deep class, but a class that goes really highly. And I think it's the offensive tackles, because when you watch pretty much every single guy that worked out, whether it was Monroe Freeling from Georgia, Blake Miller from Clemson, Maxie Honachor from Arizona State, Caden Proctor from Alabama, Caleb Lomu, Spencer Fano from Utah, those two, I think all those guys end up going first round after what they did. They all tested like high-end athletes at the tackle position. So for guys that had, I don't want to say iffy tape, but like not as good a tape as we saw from the tackle class last year, they tested like first-round caliber offensive tackles. So I think before the Seahawks pick, you could see 7 or 8 offensive linemen off the board.
You mentioned really loving the wide receiver class as a whole, outside of, let's say, like top half first-round guys. Who are a few names that you find especially intriguing, whether or not they land in Seattle, just guys that you look forward to watching in the pros?
Yeah, there's some back end of the first round guys that I really like. I think Omar Cooper from Indiana is the one I keep going back to as one who could even be better in the pros than he was in college, because he's so gifted athletically. He's so good after the catch, got such good ball skills. He just was kind of in a log jam at wide receiver there for Indiana, and was kind of a run heavy offense still. So he was very productive when called upon, though. And another one I really like that I think is getting underrated, that I think would fit great even in with the Seahawks, is Antonio Williams from Clemson. He was banged up this past year, so I think that's why he hasn't been talked about a bunch, but I see him as one of the best route runners in this draft class. He's got great hands. I think he'll go day 2, but I think he'll be better than a lot of guys drafted in that realm. So to me, he would be a great fit if the Seattle targeted him somewhere in day 2.
John Schneider has had the reputation as a GM that will like to trade back in the first round, but it's actually been quite a while since he's done that. The Seahawks with only 4 picks in the first round. Do you think this could maybe be a return to the old John Schneider of somebody who looks to wheel and deal to acquire more picks using pick 32 to move back?
I think so. I think with what they could potentially lose in free agency, that building out this roster, building out depth is always something to covet. And when you're at that point in the first round, pick end of the first round, 32, right? It's not that different than pick 50. At that point on the board, you're kind of done through all the quote unquote sure things. And you're really haggling over, a lot of times it's, pick 32 versus pick 50 is what a team needs at that point in time. So if you can get, a third rounder in return to move back 10 to 15 slots, you do something like that every day. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if the Seahawks are in that sort of market.
I got kind of a weird one for you, Mike, but John Schneider is a guest on with our afternoon show, Wyman and Bob, every Thursday. And because it's so early in the draft process, they can't really ask him about specific position groups, and John's not going to want to give it away. So they end up having lots of conversations that are still really interesting about like the approach to the draft and what he's learned. And I've actually found that those are fascinating to hear just as much as it is talking about players. So I wanted to ask you, as an analyst who's looked at the draft, like kind of a big picture question with something that you think that you've learned, a trend you've seen develop around the league, maybe something you've learned about the draft, or something that you think is a common misconception.
I think one of the biggest things that I talk about a lot in the draft is, and I've definitely learned over a decade of doing this, is that there's certain positions where you can find them, where you can find high-end guys in the draft. And to me, offensive tackle, edge rusher are 2 positions that if you draft in the second and third round, your chances of hitting are just so much less than in the first round, in the top 10 picks. Truthfully, like your all pros 8 to 9 times out of 10 are top 10 picks at those positions. It's just difficult to find those guys, the really high end ones, outside of the first half of the first round. So I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned is that, even if you have a top 10 pick and the Seahawks did this when they had Charles Cross, it's like you can draft maybe a safety or a corner there or a running back. And yeah, they could look like a great prospect and could be good for you, but you still need, if you're going to win a championship, you need tackles and you need a pass rush. So it's difficult to find the ones who are really high-end impact guys for not high-end draft capital at those positions. So I think that's one of the biggest things. It's just that when you have that premium draft capital, you probably want to use it on premium positions.
Mike, I want to take you back to last year's draft. One of the more intriguing picks the Seahawks made was Jalen Milroe in the third round. I think a lot of people maybe expected him to contribute more in the 2025 season, but obviously the play of Sam Darnold didn't really necessitate the need to have Milroe out on the field because Darnold was, top half of the NFL kind of quarterback. What do you think Milroe's future is in the NFL? Because it kind of feels like now he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place with Darnold having the season that he had.
Yeah, maybe this is why they think Kenny Walker's extendable, right? Maybe he's the backup plan at running back, because that's what he was at Alabama, right? I think you were drafting him because you were drafting an athlete, a guy who's a special sort of size, speed, talent, and dynamism that you always kind of knew quarterback. I don't want to say it's a pipe dream, but he fell to the third round for a reason. It was that he was not accurate in college. He was never really that productive as a passer, even if you saw some strides. So I wonder if that's his future, is being a sort of change up for them in the running game, because as you said, I don't think Sam Darnold's going anywhere anytime soon after how last year went. Even after his contract's up, he'll be there long term. So Jalen Milroe you hope he's not under center anytime soon if you're a Seahawks fan.
I'm also going to ask about a player from last year's class for Seattle, and that's Nick Emenwari, who ended up, I think, meeting and even surpassing so many expectations for Seahawks fans. Is what you saw from him in his first year, does that align with what you thought he could be when he was coming out of school?
Yeah, I was a big fan of his. I had him actually higher on my board than where he went. I thought he should have been a first rounder. I thought that the role they put him in, though, was like, that's kind of what I always imagined. I was like, this guy he's like a linebacker. He's like the best of both worlds. He's a linebacker who can also cover at a high level, who can play in space. And then if you need him to cover ground, he really can. So that's kind of what the slot position looked like in Mike McDonald's defense. And that's why he was so darn good at it. So I think a lot of teams are going to be going back to the drawing board at what they think a slot corner should be going forward, because I think a lot of times slot in the NFL is like, you put your smallest guy in the slot. You put the guy who doesn't have the length, the size to play on the outside. That's traditionally been your slot corner. But I think a lot of people are rethinking that with how important playing the run, how important shutting down wide screens is. Just seeing what Emenwari did in that regard, it's like, I want that slot to look like another linebacker who can cover as well. Easier said than done, but I think a lot of teams will be looking for players in that mold now going forward.
Mike, quarterback is consistently the most overdrafted position in the draft, and Ty Simpson had 1 year at Alabama as their starting quarterback. Not a lot of tape to go off of, but it seems like he's got a name that is climbing up draft boards after the combine. Where do you see him going, and is he going to be somebody that you see off the board in the first round?
Yeah, I think he goes somewhere in the Jackson Dart to Tyler Shuck range. That's kind of how I see him as a prospect. And I think after last year and how those two turned out, I think maybe you'll see more teams willing to take that chance just because of how valuable a quarterback is, right? You hit on that and it buys you a lot of leeway. I do think before injuries piled up, he did have really good tape. I mean, there was a lot of high-end throws. He is very sound technically for a guy who hasn't played a ton of football, but you got to draft him knowing that you probably don't want to start him day one. And, the Giants and Saints last year respectively had situations where they didn't necessarily have to start their quarterbacks day one. And when they took over, they seemed like they were ready. So I think that's ultimately where he goes. And like I said, if he didn't get hurt and he kind of finished the year like he did probably his first 8 games, I think we wouldn't even be having a debate. He'd be a top 10 to 15 pick here.
Who's the most polarizing player that you've seen so far, where based on your own observations and then based on obviously, a community of draft analysts like yourself that you talk to, like it's just all over the place?
I think it's some of these offensive tackles. I think for me, it's probably Caden Proctor, the Alabama offensive tackle. I love him. I think he's the best offensive tackle in this draft. Some people don't even think he's an offensive tackle, though. Some people want to play him at guard. Some people don't think he's a first rounder. So I would take him in the top 10. And I truthfully don't have no clue where he'll end up because, again, there's, like I said, 7 guys who I think will be first-round offensive tackles in this draft class, and he's just one of them. So he's one. And then I also think Jordan Tyson is a really interesting prospect, Arizona State wide receiver, because he's had so many injuries over the course of his career and has so many high-end flashes, but has kind of a up-and-down tape if you watch him over the course of his career. So those 2 guys, I think, could either go top 10 or they could go back end of the first round. I just really don't know with either.
Mike, last one from me. The Rams make the big trade yesterday, sending pick 29 to Kansas City for Trent McDuffie. They still hold on to pick number 13, though, which is a very valuable pick, especially for a team that was as close to anyone beating the Seahawks last year. What do you think they do in the first round, especially with having such a high pick? I mean, that could really potentially swing things their way in the NFC West.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what I said a little earlier, that less needs no dummy. They don't draft 13 every year. This is kind of an icing on the cake pick. They don't plan to be drafting here. And so I think they're going to target the positions that you don't find outside of pick 13. So to me, I think that's either defensive line or offensive tackle for them, just to keep the pipeline going. And I thought it was a really shrewd move to get that corner, because everyone wanted to give them a corner at 13 before this. But I think that's where they end up going, as trenches, just knowing that that's what you're going to need to continue to build around if you're going to have a chance against the Seahawks.
He is CBS draft analyst Mike Renner, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
For sure. Thanks so much for having me. You guys have a good one.
Have a good one. Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
All right, Stacy, first down to you. Who do you hear mentioned often as a replacement for Ken Walker?
Okay, so I am not going by who I hear mentioned often from the analysts and experts that we have on the show. I'm looking at the people, okay? I'm going to the text line.
The good people.
So every single time and I'm not critiquing it, but I grouped together most popular answers. Every single time we have a conversation about Ken Walker departing in free agency and, oh my God, you need to find a cheaper option. Who could you possibly get? The top name I see thrown out there is Rico Dowdle. It was Breece Hall, and then Breece Hall was tagged by the Jets. They're going to work on that long-term deal. I think he was very intriguing to a lot of people, and I'm a little surprised by that, but maybe I shouldn't be. Rico Dowdle, not necessarily brought over by Carolina to be like their top go-to guy, but once again gave a 1,000-yard season now with 2 separate teams, Dallas and then later with Carolina. I think that people will love the stuff that Mike McCarthy used to say about him. Angry runner, right? Like everyone loves hard-nosed football. Everyone loves hard-nosed football. So I think his running style will appeal to a lot of people. But 2 1,000-yard seasons is, even in an NFL where, the top backs are getting like 1,300 yards, it's nothing to look down your nose at. That's a very impressive amount of production. So looking at his stats, thinking about the price point, totally get it. Get why he's a popular name.
Second down. Sticking with running backs, who would be the most interesting or intriguing replacement for Ken Walker?
So Tyler Algier is another name that's thrown out a ton, but he's interesting in a different way. He had a 1,000-yard season his rookie year, but that's not really who he's been as a running back. He's kind of like Zach Charbonnet. He's really physical, downhill between the tackles type runner. He is consistent. He has not missed a game. Obviously, he's not your starter in Atlanta. It's Bijan Robinson, but he hasn't missed a game. 500 to 600 yards each year. Doesn't have the touchdown production of Charbonnet per se, but still had 8 in 2025. So you're kind of replacing Ken Walker with another version of Zach Charbonnet, and I think that's interesting. I felt like I kept hearing Ken Walker's not a fit, but he's so electric, he's so explosive, it doesn't even matter. Well, I don't know, what if Tyler Algier is a fit? Like, what's it look like with a slightly different style? So I'm interested in that one.
Third down. So, Stacy, sticking with Tyler Algier, what's unique about that fit?
Well, what happens when Charbonnet comes back? Right? Like, I mentioned that he's a physical runner, does not have the same skill set. There's 3 things to keep in mind here that's most unique and interesting about it. Number 1, do you really have a lot of backfields that are like two under 1,000-yard bruiser type backs that just like red zone threats, get a lot of, like, I can't think of a backfield that's exactly like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not often you see those kinds of running backs.
Right.
It's usually a faster guy, Ken Walker.
Of course, complemented with a between the tackles bruiser guy. And it just so happened that Seattle gave that guy a lot of red zone carries. It's not always that way. But what's it look like when they're both like, do you miss an element of explosiveness, or do you have a physicality you didn't have before? I couldn't think of a backfield, and maybe someone else could let me know, that was like that, where you have two really physical backs, and I'm not talking like the yardage production. You can find a lot of backfields where both halfbacks are giving you like 500-600, maybe, 700. But I'm talking about that the style is so similar. So that's something very intriguing to me. Should Charbonnet end up coming back for a good chunk of the season and you actually get to see it?
Just a couple of wrecking balls. 4th down. So, Stacey, in addressing the running back position, what would you not do if you were in charge?
Now, Curtis, I mean no disrespect by what I'm about to say, and I want to underline, bold, italicize, highlight. I would not rely on your in-house options only.
The disrespect.
Now, I'm not trying to disrespect Kenny McIntosh or George Halani by saying that.
This is bulletin board material for the two of them.
I hope it is.
So, yeah.
I hope so. I hope that they have this and they're like, yeah, that dumb girl said that she wouldn't just rely on us to tote the rock, and then they both get 1,000 yards. That would be amazing. Fantastic. However, I don't think Seattle's going to do that, period. Like, I don't think I'm convincing John Schneider of anything. I think there's absolutely no way that they enter this rest of the offseason and training camp with just those guys. But I think what I'm doing instead is cautioning people against expecting that those guys can just replicate what Walker and Charbonnet do. And I'm not saying that, like, every single person texting in does, but by no means am I saying that. But I've seen it just enough where I kind of want to, like, hit the brakes a little bit and go, wait. Not only would I add in free agency, I might add 2 guys in free agency. Like, this is not a great draft class. You want to add late, but, like, I don't even think this is like a turn to who you have and hope Charbonnet can come back. I think this is like, no, you need to over-add. You need to add as many names as you can that you think could be a fit for you, that fit within your cap. But I think that this is a real tough situation they're in that they're going to need to over-prepare to solve.
Let me tell you something about having beef with a Seahawks running back.
Oh,
it catches you off guard.
You might need to remind people what happened.
Oh, yeah, Mike Davis, years ago. He got mad at me.
Was this in 2017?
This was a long time ago. I think so.
That was that horrible year. Maybe it was after that.
And the Seahawks hadn't really done a whole lot in addressing the running back spot. And, like, I was doing a segment. This is back when I was hosting nights. This is a long time ago. I was hosting nights solo, and I was looking at the Seahawks running back spot and going through all the options and mentioned everybody but Mike Davis. And Mike Davis had been, like, a practice squad guy the year prior. And so then he tweeted at the station, like, thanks for the motivation.
Yeah.
He actually did lead the Seahawks in rushing, I think, that next year. But it was like 300. Yeah, it was like 300 yards. It was not.
But he did it.
He did. And, I became Mike Davis's biggest hater.
Yeah.
Still am.
To this day.
Even though people tell me he's a nice guy.
He is. I interviewed him a couple times. Really funny. Greg Olson also. You're his number one hater. You're putting in hours. You're putting in work as Greg Olson's top hater.
We have firmly established.
I want it to become
his strongest hater.
A two-sided feud.
Oh, yeah. If he wants to come back at me, sure.
One-sided is fine, and it's funny, and it's great. And I kind of like that it's one-sided, but I want it to be mutual hate.
I would love it.
I would absolutely love that. Coming up, Kyler Murray is currently out of a job, so would he give up football and go back to the other sport he was a top draft pick in? That's next on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I can see clearly now. It's amazing. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for Refractive Lens Exchange, or RLE. Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. So if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the capper. You're never going to develop a cataract. I'm somebody that needed readers in every room of the house. I needed to see the scoreboard out at ball games. I just couldn't see clearly. That has all changed thanks to RLE. Whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to point you in the right direction. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Yay to Bruce, the streaming king.
With quantum fiber internet, he's gonna binge.
He wants more, he's got to have more.
More bedtime true crime.
More podcasts in the shower.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi has the power. More.
Fast internet speed. He's got the gigs to blow big. Bring him the games.
Right now.
And his royal we.
More sports non-stop. His quantum fiber's on top. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
Having one of those days where a little of this would make things so much better?
Fastball, strike three called. He got him looking. How about that for a Cactus League debut? Cade Anderson striking out the side.
We got you. You can stream every Mariners spring training game live for free on the Seattle Sports app. Making lives better through Mariners baseball, one
goodbye baseball
at a time. Home of your American League West champion Mariners.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Brock and Salk at Mariners spring training
with Julio Rodriguez, who sits down with us right now. How long did that loss linger? For a day, a week, a month?
So once you get a taste of like that, what an actual playoff is, and you experience that as a team, I feel like you just get addicted to it. That gets addicting, at least for me, you know. And like being able to be so close to something so special as a group, I think it really made this team hungry.
Catch every one of Brock and Salk's interviews from Mariners spring training on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor. Green, happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Dave Wyman here to talk about a revolutionary treatment for prostate cancer. It's Swedish, called CyberKnife. And who better to explain it than Dr. Meyer? He's part of the most experienced prostate cancer treatment team in the Northwest, specializing in Swedish CyberKnife. Dr. Meyer, what can you tell us about a prostate cancer diagnosis?
Well, being diagnosed with prostate cancer is life-changing, but realize that there are a lot of excellent treatment options.
What makes CyberKnife so effective?
Well, the CyberKnife targets radiation precisely on the prostate cancer and spares the surrounding vital organs. Swedish CyberKnife patients report a better quality of life and fewer side effects during and after treatment compared to other options. Also, the treatment is completed in just 5 short sessions.
Accurate, precise, and with proven results. Learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer at swedish.org/CyberKnife prostate or give them a call, 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
Kyler Murray is currently out of a job, so would he give up football and go to the other sport he was the top draft pick in? That is our first story on The Timeline. A's GM David Forst was asked about Murray's release from the Cardinals and if they would ever consider bringing in their former first-round pick. He said, quote, Kyler's an elite NFL quarterback. I'm sure there are plenty of opportunities for him to continue his football career. That said, he and his baseball representatives know that we're always open to exploring a return to baseball with the A's if that time ever comes. That from MLB.com.
I don't see it happening, David.
You don't? You don't think
really
the Vegas A's, soon-to-be Vegas A's, want to bring Kyler in for a show?
Kyler's probably now, close to a decade removed from
I think he's 28.
Playing baseball competitively? Yeah. I think that ship has long sailed. Maybe they get Kyler Murray to make an appearance at A's spring training.
Very Vegas. I know they're in Sacramento.
Like how Russell Wilson did with the Yankees a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only time I could ever see Kyler Murray picking up a bat right now. I think he is pot committed to playing football. And plus, he's making like $30-something million anyway. And, he's going to make that money regardless. There's very little incentive. He's going to have to, if he took up baseball now, it's not like he immediately appears on the A's, opening day roster. He's going to have to work his way up through the minor leagues to get to the big league level. I don't see anybody. Now, Michael Jordan did this, but that was a much different scenario. Who knows if that was maybe forced by David Stern.
A couple different versions of the scenario.
But I don't think Kyler Murray ever picks up a bat in a competitive baseball game ever again.
Sports Illustrated listed out their 6 landing spots for Kyler Murray with the Rams as one of them.
Really?
Also
to
included,
back up Matthew Stafford?
Yes. Also included are the Steelers, obviously, but I think most people are expecting Aaron Rodgers to go there. The Vikings, who Bump and I talked about a ton yesterday. And the Jets, though, I think most people expect them to take Ty Simpson. How would you feel if Kyler Murray just bounced around the NFC West and did land in L.A.?
I don't think that makes the Rams better in 2026. I think that gives you an option if Stafford were to retire after 2026. But am I worried about the Rams if Kyler Murray ends up there this upcoming season? No, I am not. I don't think that does anything to make them a better team. If I'm the Steelers, though, and is Kyler Murray right now better than Aaron Rodgers?
I think he could be. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is one of the best all time, but a 43-year-old Aaron Rodgers?
Right.
Who's not really doing off-season work?
And Kyler Murray is going to cost you next to nothing.
Listen.
We talked yesterday about teams that are quarterback away from being taken seriously. We mentioned the Vikings. We mentioned the Falcons. I think the Steelers are very much in that category as well.
Yes, and I know that I actually think that Aaron Rodgers played a bit better, especially in the second half of the year, than people gave him credit for. I still think Kyler could be a far more intriguing option. Agree with you. Good call out. Next up, remember how undefeated Miami of Ohio is getting docked by some college basketball analysts because of their strength of schedule? Well, independent sports reporter Matt Brown took it upon himself to see who Miami tried to schedule before this season through a Freedom of Information Act request and found there were some pretty big programs who declined. So Curtis, would you mind giving listeners who are completely unfamiliar with this story like a 30-second recap of the background?
So Miami of Ohio is the only undefeated team in college basketball right now. They're 30-0. They have one regular season game left before the MAC conference tournament starts next week. But a lot of bracketologists, well, at least one vocal one, TNT analyst, what's his name? Bruce Pearl. Said that he would not put Miami of Ohio in his field of 68 if they were to lose a single game between now and Selection Sunday.
That would put Auburn in.
Yeah, would put Auburn, the team that he had previously coached and the team that his son is now the head coach of. But this list that Matt Brown uncovered through, just asking around, some pretty big name programs.
Yeah, go ahead and read it.
Pitt, Wisconsin, Marquette, USC, Oregon, Ohio State, Mississippi State, Florida, who I know they're the defending national champions and they're in the top 10 right now.
And that's no responses that he found.
Right.
They didn't even respond.
And then there was some correspondence from both sides from these schools. Miami of Ohio got an answer back from Michigan State, UCLA, Boise State, Grand Canyon, who has been a tournament team in the past, Kansas, who Kansas then told Miami of Ohio, our schedule's full this year. We'll look into it next year. BYU, who is a top 25 team, Utah, Illinois, who is a top 10 team right now, Virginia Tech, and Nebraska, who's a top 10 team. So it wasn't for a lack of trying.
I think that needs to be explored more, and I'm really glad that Matt Brown did it, because when I heard the AD, and I'm blanking on the AD's name for Miami of Ohio.
David Saylor.
Thank you. Part of what he said was, hey, we're operating within the reality of where we are as a mid-major team. And I took it as you are trying to give yourself the easiest schedule because your best bet to get into the bracket would be that you are as close to undefeated as possible, that you just have no loss whatsoever count against you, because a loss is going to count against you so much more than your wins. So I thought that's what he was talking about. But it's also important, a listener mentioned that he did say this during another part of the interview, that, like you said, they did reach out to try to add these schools for those quality wins. So now they're put in a place where, and as I'm sure many other programs are that are kind of at this level, you can play your best basketball.
Yeah.
Have an undefeated season, and it's not enough through no fault of your own.
Yeah, that says more about where the selection committee is and where the priorities of the selection committee are, rather than actual on-court performance. Like, what else is there to do for Miami of Ohio to improve their resume? Like, they've shown that they're capable of beating every team that they can go up against. Now, again, they have not played really anybody of note. They haven't played a single ranked team this season. I believe they're ranked only 19th in the country, even though they are 30-0 to this point. But yeah, I think the NCAA would do a huge disservice to themselves by keeping Miami of Ohio out of the NCAA tournament, because, look, they are not historically known as a great basketball program. And what do people love the first couple weeks of the NCAA tournament?
Cinderella stories.
Exactly. Like, this would be a huge, huge story for them and for TV viewers. And I think if you were to leave them out, even after one loss between now and the end of the MAC tournament, I think it would be a huge mistake on the selection committee's part.
Next up, last up, YouTuber, internet troll, and part-time WWE wrestler, Logan Paul, says that he could take on any football player in a fight.
If any of the football players want to fight, we can see what happens. What football players would straight up beat his? Not a single one. Name one. Not a single one. Don't do all that, bro. I would put any amount of money that you could put. DK. Metcalf? Not a single football player could beat me in a boxing match.
Myles Garrett.
That is on God.
Myles Garrett.
I would throttle Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett. I will bet you why did we choose him? It could be any name, but any football player. Myles Garrett, Puka Nacua, Tom Brady, Gronk. I don't even know.
Don't even try calling out Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
No, don't do it, bro.
Doesn't matter. $1 million. $1 million. You come to the gym, we put on boxing gloves, we see how it goes.
Now, Curtis, before anyone gets fired up, I think part of him is implying that boxing is so much harder than people think. And that's true. Like
True.
There are many professional fighters too, who like, it doesn't matter. You're like, this man could kill someone. Doesn't matter if he's several inches shorter than another guy. However, I think he's doing this specifically for attention. I don't know what kind of thing they're planning. I don't know what kind of like former NFL player he's going to get scheduled. This is all fake.
Yeah.
All of it's fake. Before anyone gets upset, this is fake. Just as fake as his fight with Tom Brady. None of it's real.
A classic wrestler move of I'm going to call this guy out and then hope that he responds.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm the winner now because I've gotten you to respond.
Don't waste. That's exactly what he wants. It's today's media landscape. You're looking for clippable content.
Yeah.
This is what he's doing. This is all it is. Don't waste your breath getting angry about it because it's not real. No part of him sincerely believes that in a fight, Myles Garrett would beat him.
Now, when Bump called out sick, I was really disappointed because I wanted to have him hear that audio because I feel like he would have either A, heard him out on it, or B, been like, who is this idiot? Bump's supposed to be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll play it for him.
I think you should again. I think you should repeat it a little bit. No one tell Bump this happened because he's sick. He's probably like knocked out right now. I think you play it for him and just say, I have something for you here.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think about it. Earlier in our conversation with NFL draft expert Mike Renner, he made accidentally a point for the Seahawks trading for Max Crosby. That's coming up next.
Brock and Salk at Mariners spring training.
With Julio Rodriguez, who sits down with us right now. How long did that loss, that linger for a day, a week, a month?
So once you get a taste of like that, what an actual playoff is, and you experience that as a team, I feel like you just get addicted to it. That gets addicting, at least for me, you know. And like being able to be so close to something so special as a group, I think it really made this team hungry.
Catch every one of Brock and Salk's interviews from Mariners spring training on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you. Guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
When you buy a new vehicle from Lee Johnson, you'll get a lifetime powertrain warranty included.
P&D Tree Service, your local experts in tree removal. 24-hour emergency service. Fast, efficient, and safe removal of trees from your yard or neighborhood. Ever seen a tree removed by a crane? Enjoy a safe and clean yard. PNDTreeservice.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hi, Chuck here at Frank Lumber the Door Store. Something that happens here most every day are customers and contractors looking to purchase doors they can take today. Frank Lumber has a good selection of pre-hung display doors that are ready to go. And if we don't have what you need today, whether it be style or size, and you find a door in stock, we can still get you taken care of quickly. Come visit our showroom and bargain barn in Shoreline. Also, be sure to check us out online at franklumber.com.
Don't miss the All Sound Plumbing Mariners Cactus League report. Tuesday nights at 6. Going inside Mariners camp on the home of the American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here for my friends at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, and they got some great entertainment coming through, like Hinder on April 4th, Pop 2000 Tour in August, and then, yes, Queensryche in October. All the info at snocasino.com. And while you're there, you got to check out the Falls Buffet, serving up all your favorites, prime rib every day, fresh pasta, delicious stir-fry, pizzas, salad bar, dessert bar, the pies made every day. It is Seattle's closest, Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. Please game responsibly.
This baseball season, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton have you covered with every play. With their lineup of Tundras, Tacomas, and the all-electric BZ lineup. Versatile, powerful, and innovative. All built to elevate your drive. Take a test drive at either location and head home or to the ballpark in that Toyota the same day. Whether you're in the north or the south, they've got you covered. Visit Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien. Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus. And Curtis, earlier we had Mike Renner on, who's an NFL draft expert, and we asked him about some of the strengths of this class. And one of the questions I asked was about lessons that had stuck out or things that he's just learned to be true about the draft. He's been doing this for 10 years. And I wasn't expecting his answer. I fully expected him to say draft the best talent available rather than need kind of approach, which is relevant. We've heard John Schneider talk about that, but I just wasn't sure what to expect. And instead, he talked about learning where the biggest discrepancy in talent is based on round. For instance, you can find an incredibly talented receiver in the first round. You can also find a very talented receiver in the second round, sometimes into the third round. And I'm leaving out, anomalies that we all know to be true.
Right.
Like
it gets less and less as the rounds go by.
I don't want to use as much like anecdotal type things. Overwhelmingly, most Hall of Famers are in the first round, second round, and there are always people that are not drafted there. But just as a truth, you can typically find better talent in earlier rounds, but that's not applied equally for all position groups. So he said, overwhelmingly, you are significantly more likely to find an edge rusher that's incredibly talented, is going to work out, is going to be one of those premier guys early, and far less likely to find that guy late. I understand the irony with what I'm about to ask, because Max Crosby was not a first rounder, so I get it. Max Crosby himself is an example of that not always being true. That being said, the Seahawks are not going to have a chance at getting one of those premier edge guys early. Does that make a stronger case for trading for Max Crosby?
It does. I just don't know if it makes a strong enough case to trade for Max Crosby, especially because not only are you going to have to use your first-round pick in a trade, your 2026 first-round pick in a trade, but you're also probably going to have to use your 2027 first-round pick in a trade. And the more contracts that you dish out to guys like JSN and Devin Witherspoon, the more you're going to need first-round talents on rookie deals for those 4 to 5 years that you have that window, because you're just not going to have as much money to go around. And I think that was a thing that the Seahawks ran into after the Super Bowl years too, after their first Super Bowl years, is that like you didn't have a whole lot of first-round picks to go back to once you had paid all these guys, because you had traded them to get Percy Harvin, you had traded them to get Jimmy Graham, and then all of a sudden now you're looking for those kinds of reinforcements in areas and you didn't have them. So I do think that trading for Max Crosby would make the Seahawks better in 26, better in 27, maybe even better in 28. But again, not only do you have to trade for him, but you also got to take on that contract, which is a big number, and that might hamper your ability to keep some of these guys around that were integral to winning a Super Bowl.
Bump has originally was like on the fence and has become a pro, like, yeah, trade for Max Crosby. Do it now. You got a 2-year window right now. That's what he believes. And I think that a lot of people, I think Mike Salk is with him on that one, a couple other. I haven't actually asked you outright, are you for or against making a trade for Max Crosby?
I am. I mean, I'd love it from a storyline standpoint for sure. It would give us tons to talk about over the next couple of weeks.
So outside of your job,
outside of like how it would benefit me personally over the next few weeks, I think I'm kind of.
There's a hesitation in your voice, Curtis.
And if there's a hesitation, then that's a no.
I don't think your heart's in it.
I am not trading for Max Crosby right now. You know why I'm not trading for Max Crosby?
Why?
Because there's a free agent that has been just as good as a pass rusher, Trey Hendrickson, who's a little bit older, could probably fit that DeMarcus Lawrence role if DeMarcus Lawrence doesn't come back. And yes, Hendrickson's coming off a year where he was banged up, but was this not the same guy who 12 months ago we were having conversations about on these airwaves saying, oh, the Seahawks, I mean, do you give up a second rounder for Trey Hendrickson? Like, you gave up a second rounder for Leonard Williams. Like, he gets more sacks than anybody in the league. Like, you don't have to give up any compensation in terms of draft picks, in terms of player capital to go out and get Trey Hendrickson. He can be yours just by the swipe of a pen. Like, that's all it takes to get Trey Hendrickson right now. And Max Crosby, you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of your future in order to get him. And I don't know if this Seahawks team, where they're at organizationally, with having to pay so many guys, and then what does your team look like once those guys are paid? Like, how much maneuverability do you have? Where, as we know, the ultimate like cheat code in the NFL is getting above, play that outweighs the payment that you're giving that player.
A very fair point. Let's stick to free agency and the topic of what the Seahawks can do here, especially when it comes to potentially replacing Ken Walker and Rashid Shaheed. With NFL insider James Palmer, he joins us next.
Having one of those days where a little of this would make things so much better?
Fastball, strike 3 called. He got him looking. How about that for a Cactus League debut? Cade Anderson striking out the side.
We got you. You can stream every Mariners spring training game live for free on the Seattle Sports app. Making lives better through Mariners baseball, one
goodbye baseball
at a time. Home of your American League West champion Mariners.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Did you know GoodRx can help you save on medication, manage prescriptions, and get trusted health information? If you're one of the millions living with a heart condition, check GoodRx for an easier, more affordable way to manage your health. GoodRx offers common heart medications for under $30. Just search for your prescription, find the best price, then show your pharmacist the GoodRx coupon. And it works whether you have insurance or not. To start saving and better manage your heart health, download the free app or visit GoodRx.com today. GoodRx is not insurance but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Winter is in full swing, and Aleve is here to keep you moving. When the cold weather sets in, everyday aches and pains can linger, but Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you going with long-lasting body pain relief to get you through whatever the season brings. Chilly days or cozy nights, Aleve gives you that long-lasting body pain relief you can count on this winter. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type. Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can. Have you tried Upside yet? Upside? What's that? It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it. Come on, does that really add up to anything? I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself. And the Upside app is free? Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
DJ Moore is being traded to the Bills. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting Chicago's dealing their star wideout to a wide receiver needy Buffalo team in exchange for a second-round pick. Chicago also sent a fifth-rounder. Moore reunites with current head coach Joe Brady, who was also his OC in Carolina. Also from Adam Schefter this morning, Pro Bowl edge Cam Jordan will hit free agency for the first time in his career, joining an edge class that also includes Khalil Mack and Trey Hendrickson.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. The Athletic NFL insider James Palmer joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. And James, your timing could not be more perfect because we already feared that Ken Walker could be hitting free agency. Now we're hearing reports that Rashid Shaheed is going to test free agency. My first question is something that Curtis and I were both wondering. Why do the Seahawks free agents hate Seattle? What's going on here? Why do they hate us, James?
Do they hate you? They hate winning Super Bowls?
That's what it is.
That's exactly.
Why are they mad at us?
They're hating the success. I don't know. I wasn't there. Was the parade up to par? I've been to a lot of these parades. Was it good? Okay. All right. Yeah, I've covered a lot of them. I'm assuming, that's when everybody, and I love when John Schneider actually was up there going, we're already talking with Kenneth. Like he's trying to pitch himself. Like that actually does happen at every parade. It's actually kind of hilarious. Like that's the one that fans need to make sure this is just my sombering moment of Super Bowl parades. That's when, because I've been to 10 of them. Yeah. That's when you hear everybody's coming back. And we're getting the band back.
Yeah, we're going to run this back.
The head coaches say it. They're running it back with everybody. That's always the what ends up happening. But it's not the reality. There's a little liquid involved, I think, in what's going on during the parade. But listen, I would say this. I think John is arguably the best general manager in football. I'd put him right up there. I think George Payton's outstanding in Denver. I think Howie Roseman in Philadelphia is outstanding. There's obviously a couple of these guys that are outstanding. I think John's right up there. And I think the way he goes about it is what sets him apart. And I'm getting to the point here that you're asking with saying he's so forward thinking. He doesn't like to look back. He doesn't like to hang on to things too long. He's done it with coaches. He's done it with coordinators. He's done it with star players. He's done it with a quarterback that's was a perennial MVP. He always is looking to make sure that he stays a step ahead because he does believe teams in this league that try to hang on to the group, and that ties back to the Super Bowl parades, too long, oftentimes find themselves in financial issues and oftentimes find themselves getting older at key positions quicker than they should. And so I'm not shocked by the approach with either one of the players. We can get into both of them. But, I never expected Kenneth Walker to be tagged. If you know anything about John's history, I think he's only used it twice since 2010. And I thought Shaheed served a really good purpose for what they needed. And I think he helped them win a Super Bowl. But for the way the free agent landscape was going, and I know John's reading into this, he'll probably end up getting more than what I believe John Schneider thinks he's worth.
James, do you think that kind of mindset maybe stems from how the previous Super Bowl teams here in Seattle that were under John Schneider's watch kind of went about business in the years following, where they extended everybody? Everybody got paid. There was nobody that left in free agency or got traded. And maybe, the Seahawks kind of learning that, hey, we can maybe extend our window if we're a little more judicious about how we dole the cash out.
I think that's exactly right. And I mentioned about Shaheed getting more. Everybody gets more. Alec Pierce is going to get what did he get type of contract when he hits free agency. Alec Pierce has never had more than 47 catches in a season. Now, is he a very good receiver in a lot of people's minds? I've talked to enough people. Yeah. And is he a rare thing in this league where he's a bigger bodied receiver that can get downfield and stretch the field and be extremely explosive? Certainly. But that's the type of moves oftentimes, I know teams think they're a player away. I think you could use the example of Chicago. They're really in on Max Crosby right now, to my understanding. Well, they got so close. Oftentimes things think, well, that closer of a pass rusher can push us over. And you see Buffalo going and making the trade for DJ Moore today, thinking we're just one weapon away from getting Josh Allen, into the Super Bowl and a chance to win it. Often big swings happen, and they don't all land. I think John's always very measured in terms of building a team through the draft and then rewarding the players that he drafted. He has 2 monster contract extensions on the horizon with JSN and Devin Witherspoon. So, like, they do have other things they need to figure out. But if you look at as talented as they are and how he's been able to operate, they're still not in a bad cap situation. And I think that plays a really big part in it. The way he's operating now, and I love that you brought up the point of previous Super Bowls and where they're at, look at his response at the Combine about Sam Darnold. Right? Like sometimes teams, and teams have done this after a quarterback wins a Super Bowl, you give them oftentimes in the league, it's called like the force him to turn it down contract. You give him a contract, very quickly right after it to make sure everybody knows that you did do it, and you force him to turn it down. Well, he's not even doing that. He's like, no, he's under contract for 3 years. I think John's being very diligent in how he's operating with this. And I think that's keeping you a step ahead in a sense.
All right. I want to ask about the free agent running back class right now because the Seahawks, as you know, are in a bit of a pickle. Ken Walker was great for them as part of a committee, but both parts of that committee, one half hitting free agency with Walker and the other half coming off an ACL tear in the first playoff game. So he's not going to be ready to start the season. So for a team that wants to run the ball, I personally don't think their in-house options are going to give them enough to do that as consistently as they'd like. So, yes, there's the draft, but tell me what you're expecting about some of those, notable free agent running backs where not teams they could land, but where they could land price-wise.
Yeah, for sure. It is an interesting running back landscape, and the Seattle Seahawks are part of the reason why it's in this manner. And because the prices, my point is, the prices have kind of gone up. You look at what Philadelphia did 2 years ago, and they lean on Saquon Barkley to win them a Super Bowl. Kenneth Walker down the stretch this past year. Ashton Genty goes in the top 10. You saw Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson are about to get absolutely paid. The perception of the position has changed a little bit in the league as opposed to just being I hate to say it, but like a guy you want to really help carry your offense, but we're not going to compensate you for it. And now it's changed. Breece Hall is now out of the mix essentially with the tag. So Kenneth Walker is next. The expectation is he should get somewhere from 12 to 14 million. That's a lot. I mean, 14.3 was the tag, but that's a lot. I think Denver's pretty high on probably Kenneth Walker. I think you look at the trade that Kansas City made, and I'll put Brett Veach in my group of really good GMs as he's making a difficult decision to turn the page with the trade with Trent. And I think that frees up some space that Kansas City could be in on Kenneth Walker. I think next is Travis Etienne. I think both those teams, if they miss out on Kenneth Walker, could be interested in Etienne. He's probably at around 10, some people think, around the league. And then it kind of drops after that. Rico Dowdle and Ricard White. And I think Tyler Algier is an intriguing player to me because he played in a backfield with such a dominant second back. And, he had 1,000 yards in his rookie season, and then obviously his carries dwindled because of Bijan's role getting so big in Atlanta. That's an interesting back, I think, for people. I think Kenneth Gainwell's a really, really good third down back. That some of these guys are going to get more than you probably expected. I think another team that you could look at as you're measuring this is the Seahawks and John Schneider are trying to figure out what to do in their backfield. Look at the move that Nick Caserio went and did in Houston in trades for David Montgomery. They were certainly one of the teams that was looking for a back in free agency. I kind of put him in that Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs type of group that was really looking heavily at the guys at the top of the free agent market. He goes and trades for David Montgomery instead of getting himself involved in that. Sometimes I look at GM's moves going, what did he think was going to happen with the market? Does he think people are going to overpay, so we should make the trade for David Montgomery? And that takes a team out of the running, I would say, with the trade in terms of teams competing for these free agents. But also I would always look at a GM's move that I think is really good, like Nick, and say, did he make that because these prices are going to be high? It's going to be a difficult market to gauge also because you only have two running backs that are probably worthy of taking in the first 2 rounds, and one of them's one of the top 3 players in this draft.
James, the biggest name available on the trade market right now is Max Crosby. It seems like his days in Las Vegas are numbered. When you look at sort of the price tag that you're going to have to give up for him compared to the production, it sounds like 2 firsts and maybe a player for Crosby. Is that the right price to pay for a team to bring him in? And what kind of impact do you think Crosby will have on a team that does choose to make that trade?
Yeah, full disclosure, big Max Crosby fan, know him personally, great human being. And I think that part is a little bit part of what teams are interested in. He is a culture setter. He is a locker room monster. He will have every practice going at a different pace than you probably had it going before he entered your building. And then he is one of the premier pass rushers in this league, but also is outstanding against the run. He does check every single box. But I don't know if he quite is going to get the Micah Parsons haul. My understanding is John Spytek isn't really putting a number out there. He's just listening. And I think that's what he should do when he has one of the best players in football. He should just listen to what people are approaching him with, because he's only going to be 29 years old, and he's coming off of a knee injury that he had surgery on. I think he had ankle surgery at the end of last season as well. So I hate to put it this way because, again, such a fan of Max's game, but people around the league that I talk to will say, this guy plays every snap like it's the final snap of his entire life. How many more years after he's played 7 now in the NFL am I going to get that great Max Crosby? Because sadly, he has played at a pace that is, probably going to knock a little bit of time off of his career because of the way that he plays. So that's part of the equation as well. And Micah's deal was essentially what you said, but he was 25. And I mentioned the age of Max and where he's approaching. So how many more years do you get with him? Now, what always changes it is the market and the competition. I would say there's probably a quarter of the teams in the NFL that are somewhat interested to some capacity. That's always going to help your price. And I think if they really want to maximize what they can get for Max Crosby, they try to get the deal done before the start of the league year, before somebody can go after Trey Hendrickson as an option, or they can go after, Jalen Phillips as an option. I do think teams think the price is a little high on Max right now, but they're all staying very, very interested. I wouldn't rule out Dallas. I wouldn't rule out New England. I mentioned Chicago. He has plenty of suitors. He's not just a great player, though. He's a cultural changer, and I think that's weighed into this equation as well.
Just a follow-up to confirm, you are expecting that he'll be dealt, right? Because you mentioned Spytek, like just kind of in the listening stage right now. But is the feeling around the league that, like, no, he'll get dealt? It just depends what it'll be for.
Yeah, I don't think they want to give him away, right? They definitely don't want to do that. They're not in the business of getting rid of elite players. But I think a conversation I had with Spytek at the Combine for my show was, I thought, kind of telling when he mentioned to me, we have to be very sober, James, in how we go about our process in building this team. He mentioned, actually specifically, Clint is coming here, and he does not have the Seattle Seahawks roster. I mean, those were the words out of his mouth. Like, he's more or less saying, we don't have the Seahawks roster. We don't have that. And Clint knows that. And so when he's saying that, I think you're kind of listening to it going, when he says we want to be sober in how we're building this, we're probably 2 years away, right? We're probably maybe 3 years away from being really what we want to be. We're going to have a rookie quarterback coming in, to change this thing in this first year. Is Max Crosby still going to be Max Crosby in 2-3 years like we could, or is his trade value going to be as high in 2 to 3 years like it is now? And I think that part is the Raiders being very realistic with themselves. And then you have the fact to where, my buddy Mike Silver, who's been one of my best friends in this league for a long time, coming out with a massive article about the issues with Alex Guerrero and Tom Brady with Max. I do know Max is very loyal to the organization. I don't think this is something that's contentious publicly. I think he'll do right by the organization, but my sense is he appears that he doesn't want to play football there anymore.
James, about a week or so ago, we heard JSN say that he wants to be the highest paid receiver in the game. And I know there's a precedent of offensive player of the year guys becoming like the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. What do you think is the number that JSN gets in his next contract?
I mean, he's shooting to pass Jamar Chase, right? And that would reset the market. And, he has every right to ask it, honestly. He really does, because what he ended up doing was he went out and he saw what they were going to what they were going to do with him. John Snyder saw what he was going to be and moved on from DK Metcalf and said that this guy can carry our entire offense. And he lived up to it. I mean, he has one of the highest volumes of receiving of anybody in football. I think he maybe had the highest percentage. I think he did highest percentage of anybody in terms of their passing yards in the NFL. He has the right to do that. I mean, so would that mean his average per year starts with a 4? That's Jamar Chase. I mean, that's monster money. It really is. Those contracts really have to change what you're doing in terms of how you build your team. But he's worth, I think, every penny of that because of his versatility, because of the way he plays the position, because, I always look at it going, when the entire stadium knows you're getting the football and you still get the football, that's a rare player in this league. Those guys don't come along very often. I don't want to discredit what Clint Kubiak did in terms of setting him up to be put in those positions and moving him around in certain spots. And you need, Brian to be the exact same way when he's running this offense. But those type of deals, they happen, and the number keeps going up. And he's not going to probably, my guess, take any sort of discount. And guess what? The rest of the players around the league usually push for you not to take that discount. You got to push it up for the rest of the guys. And so this is going to be seriously one to negotiate and follow because they're not easy to do. They're not. Even if both sides want to get it done, they do take a minute to take care of, and it's going to be complicated.
Speaking of, they have another extension to negotiate, and that's going to be for cornerback Devin Witherspoon, fellow first-rounder in the same class. Tell us, what should we know about the cornerback market right now?
In terms of where the numbers are?
Yeah, like where the numbers are, what kind of contract. Because he's really interesting where he's this phenomenal player but doesn't have like a ton of interceptions or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. Yeah, it is interesting. It's about to shift, honestly. It's literally about to change in the next couple of days, I would say, is when it's really going to shift, because the deal for Trent McDuffie that was done between the Rams and the Chiefs, to my understanding, was the trade and the compensation on a new contract are being negotiated simultaneously. So now that the trade has been agreed upon but can't happen until the start of the new league year, the Rams have been granted permission by the Chiefs to have that conversation with Trent McDuffie on his new contract. So when they get in, so they can be cap compliant on the new year, when that trade gets submitted at the very beginning of the league year next week, the trade will become instantly active as well as the new contract. So they need that to happen in terms of how they're going to manage their cap. So we'll know right when the new league year starts what Trent McDuffie's new contract is. And that is a guy who is considered by many the third best corner in football. It probably goes Patrick Surtain, Derek Stingley, Trent McDuffie. That's probably the group at the top. So what Trent's deal is does play a factor in what Witherspoon's going to get and what is going to happen in the rest of the landscape. I mean, it's funny the way it works, though, with these contracts. Like, Sauce Gardner is the highest paid corner in football. I don't know anybody in the league who has told me he's the best corner in football. I really don't. I don't think anybody's told me that. I don't know if anybody believes it in the league, but that's just the way contracts work as well. So I do know that just as the position group goes up, all of the guys who are looking for contracts are going to go up, and Trent's deal is going to push that number up for Witherspoon for sure, with that deal happening and being made public really pretty much at the start of the league year.
He is the Athletic NFL insider, James Palmer. James, very gracious with your time. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, James.
No problem, guys. Good chatting with you. Enjoy the Super Bowl and now all the struggles that come with it, which is keeping success and figuring out contracts.
Thankfully, we've got you for updates, so thanks so much.
Take it easy.
Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra,
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news.
Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services.
With Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the Patriots are releasing Stephon Diggs after one season in New England. What's the real headline?
Released by the Patriots and Cardi B. It's a tough month. You hate to see it.
Yeah. Some of that is self-inflicted by Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
I would say most of that is actually self-inflicted.
He's got some off-field stuff to deal with. I don't exactly know. You know what's interesting about him is you mentioned the 4 years, 4 new teams, but has still continued to produce. Normally when you see that, it'll be a guy bouncing around and like he just doesn't have it anymore, but teams keep taking a shot.
Yeah.
Diggs so clearly is still talented in a slightly different way as a slightly older receiver, but like if he didn't have off-the-field issues, A, he probably wouldn't be on his 4th team in 4 years, but B, he'd be the top free agent available.
For sure. Absolutely he would be. We never did find out what was in that plastic baggie on the boat with him.
I think we know.
I think we have a pretty good idea.
We know what's in it.
Yeah.
Sandwich. I put sandwiches in plastic bags.
It's Himalayan salt, the pink stuff that you can get at Costco.
Exactly.
No, I think it was something a little different than that. Stephon Diggs, like you said, supremely talented, but yeah, that is not somebody who I want to see in a Seahawks uniform. I get that
No.
he's a free agent, but all the off-field stuff going on with him right now, can't really blame the Patriots for wanting to move on from him, especially because his cap number was going to climb to $26 million. You're trying to win the AFC again, which I think is going to be a lot more competitive next year with a healthy Lamar Jackson, a healthy Joe Burrow, healthy Patrick Mahomes. So it's going to be tougher for the Patriots to get back there. And, I mean, they're not going to play a last-place schedule next season. It's going to be first-place schedule.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Aaron Rodgers says there's no deadline for him to make a decision on his playing future. What's the real headline?
Just the way Aaron likes it.
The more we can talk about him,
The merrier.
the better. Yeah, he is loving every single second that he is in the headlines. And it's funny because he said in his interview yesterday with Pat McAfee that like he has no interest in doing TV after he's done playing football. He just wants to kind of fade into oblivion. And it's like, no, you don't. You're just saying that. You want to be on every podcast. You want to be on every show. Like, stop.
Or he's
Stop.
going to create his own. It'll be,
Probably,
I don't want to appear on, a pre-game panel as part of a broadcast crew, but I'm going to come out with another Netflix documentary. Like,
right.
I just think I don't even have a massive issue with it. Like, I kind of do some eye rolling, but I don't hate Aaron
You
Rodgers.
can't say you don't want to be in front of the screen when you have an entire Netflix documentary about yourself.
You're saying it in front of a screen.
You're right. You can't be more on screen than one of the most widely distributed platforms, and a highly publicized documentary about yourself is on there.
We know that you like attention, Aaron. It's okay to admit that to yourself and to us. I do. I completely get it.
Steer into it, Aaron.
Lean in.
Yeah. You're a narcissist. We love it.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, the Bills have acquired wide receiver DJ Moore from the Bears. What's the real headline?
So does this mean no Rashid for Buffalo?
Could potentially. They have very similar skill set, Rashid and DJ Moore. I think it's Vegas or bust for Rashid Shaheed right now. I think the Raiders are going to do everything they can to keep him out of anybody else's grasp. Clint Kubiak is going to run up to John Spytek. He's going to get Tom Brady on a conference call because we know Tom Brady's not setting foot in that building. He just kind of is off doing his own thing, private islands, wherever it is that he's at. It's like, we need Rashid Shaheed. And then
He'll appear.
he'll appear.
And then Tom gets what he wants.
Yeah, Tom Brady will make it happen. And then they'll put him on the TB12 method because apparently that's what everybody's doing in the Raiders facility. And his production's going to go way down.
I don't think he's staying here. I find him an intriguing fit if the Bills were to still add, or I'm going to be that boring person if he goes to the Chiefs. I'm sorry, but it would be interesting. I want him to stay in Seattle. I don't think Seattle is going to pay him what a desperate team would, especially a team in a closing window, or in a current window, I should say that.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs are in a current window. So long as Patrick Mahomes is on the field for them.
Yeah, they've got a great shot every single year.
I just want to see, in theory, again, this is all eliminating Seattle's possibility. I want to see Patrick Mahomes throw a football to Rashid Shaheed. I want to see that. Is this a safe enough place where I can say that?
It is.
I'm assuming he's not coming back. This is all assuming he's not coming back, and I were just to pick from 31 other teams, eliminate the entirety of the NFC West. And yeah, I'm sorry, but I am kind of looking at the Chiefs. It's boring. I get that.
Chiefs haven't had a guy like that in a long time, too.
Not since Hill.
Yeah.
Who has also been reported to maybe be looked at by Kansas City.
Well, it's weird because when the Chiefs went back to the Super Bowl in 24, I believe there was a stat that they threw it downfield less than any team. Because they just don't have that kind of deep threat.
They had a lot of weird stats that year. Was that when they led the league in drops as well, or was that against the...
I think it was the year prior against when they beat the Eagles.
Yeah, because I remember people were like, then what's going to keep them from doing it?
Yeah.
It turns out the Eagles.
Their wide receivers are horrible.
Yeah, Eagles defensive
It was
line.
Marcus Valdez-Scantling. Remember him? He gets a ring, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because he was
Good
here in the
question.
preseason. He put on a Seahawks uniform.
Well, speaking of wide receivers, why the wide receiver market could blow up again, we're going to tell you next on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com. Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel welcomes Seattle Golf Show March 13th through 15th at Puyallups Washington State Fair Event Center. Parking's free. Get front door bonus golf, see 100 exhibits, top courses, and shop big brands with Putts Golf. Tickets, seattlegolfshow.com.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. People say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Tax-free edition only. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. How this is taxes.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
Intuit TurboTax Free Edition. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for Earned Income Tax Credit, Child Tax Credit, Student Loan Interest, and Schedule 1A.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Listen every day to the Bump Stacy Show for headline rewrites. Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services. Security systems and fire alarms for every business. Bay Alarm, we got you.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bump and Stacy.
weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The latest Cowboy to have a sticky contract situation is George Pickens, and Dak Prescott was asked about his star wide receiver's contract status at a recent event in Dallas.
George loves football. That's the one thing about it. I just want him to know, don't change your love for football. Don't get in the business mind of this. You played last year on a 1 year for not even that much, right? So if you can go 30, whatever it is now, I think it's the same thing I got. So, when I franchise, so, hey, go do it. At the end of the day, bet on yourself. He's a hell of a player. Hopefully we can get him long-term and sign that. But if not, I think the way that he plays the game and the person that he is, it'll be just fine.
Some fans were critical of Dak Prescott, whose contract is massive at over $60 million a year.
He was the highest paid quarterback in the game when he signed his deal.
Hey, if you need to take a little bit less or you need to do whatever.
Why didn't you take less, Dak?
However, some others can understand that, a quarterback's always going to make more money.
Sure. But if you're the one telling guys to take a pay cut, then, shouldn't you be open to that too? I don't think Pickens is worth top of the market money for a wide receiver. Which would be $40+ million. Somewhere in that $35 to $40 million range is probably more suitable to what Pickens offers. But yeah, Dak, maybe not the best look to. Pickens hasn't even had a payday yet in the NFL. He's had his rookie deal, which was a second-round pick, so he didn't even get a fifth-year option. He has not yet received that massive payday that so many NFL players are looking for, and you're already out here being don't get your feelings hurt, buddy. Try to keep a level head in all this.
Yeah, it's coming from a good place.
Yeah, Dak is ultimately trying to say do this for the good of the team, but man,
Dak,
if I'm picking
some twice as much as you're telling him to take. Yeah. Which you will anyway. Pickens could get top of the market and still be paid less than Dak, but maybe it just shouldn't be coming from Dak. Speaking of getting paid top of the market, Alec Pierce could make an even crazier wide receiver market because he suddenly, because of Pickens being tagged, becomes the top free agent. Last year's top free agent receiver, Curtis, Devontae Adams, right? Diggs signed late. Unless there's one I'm totally blanking on. I feel like Devontae Adams was the name a lot of people were tracking. And one of the best in the league for years, 1,300-yard seasons, 1,500-yard seasons. He was an older wide receiver, 33, but still very lethal as a red zone threat. He led all all receivers this year with 14 touchdowns. This year's top free agent wide receiver could be Alec Pierce, much younger at 25 and one of the best deep threats in the league. He's led in yards per reception in 2 consecutive years, so that's massive. Mm-hmm. However, a very different resume with one 1,000-yard season under his belt. Does paying him reset the market in a really weird way, right? When Jamar Chase gets paid a ton of money, not every receiver can say he's Jamar Chase. There are quite a few top receivers who can say they've done more than Pierce.
For sure. And, you look at Pierce's efficiency, not very efficient in terms of catchable, in terms of catch percentage. His career catch percentage is 50% in terms of targets and receptions. In fact, this year had 84 targets, only 47 receptions. The year prior, a nice 69 target total with 37 receptions. In 2023, in fact, his catch percentage was under 50%, 32 receptions, 65 targets. Now, Indianapolis and their quarterback play in those seasons, not super great. Daniel Jones, the best of those 4 years, and catching passes from Anthony Richardson, he has not been the most accurate quarterback in the league either. But yeah, Pierce, I think, is going to make a lot of money, especially because his yardage total has still gone up every single year, and his reception total has gone up nearly every single year. So I think he is going to make a nice chunk of change for himself. I don't know where he's going to end up going. We did talk about Kansas City needing a deep threat. He's going to make a good amount of money wherever it is he ends up.
I don't know why I know why Bump isn't here because he's sick, but he's missing out on a lot of wide receiver talk because our next story concerns DJ Moore, that trade made this morning. But what does it mean for the team he's departing? ESPN's Peter Schrager said this is now a big opportunity for Rome Odunze in his third season.
DJ Moore was a great Chicago Bear, and he was only there for a little bit, but only missed 7 games, had that big walk-off touchdown against the Packers. And, of course, everyone looks at the miscommunication or the last play of that Rams game and says, well, that's how it ended. That's unfortunate. But they move on from him. And with Drew Dahlman yesterday surprising us with a retirement news, suddenly they have a bunch of cap space. So 2 thoughts for me. 1, they could be in the game for a Max Crosby if that was to come to be. 2, they could be in the game for another big free agent pass rusher. And then 3, Rome Odunze, it's time to step up and be that guy. I mean, we know that they obviously have other offensive weapons, and we liked what we saw from Loveland at the end of the season. But now Rome Odunze becomes really the guy that you have to focus on and say, okay, if this Bears offense is going to keep it going, Odunze needs to make that giant leap in year 3.
Would love for that to happen, Curtis, but I don't even know if he needs to get ungodly numbers because they have a pretty well-rounded room.
Yeah, they've got a lot of targets in Chicago with him, with Luther Burden, with Colston Loveland, a really good running back duo in DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai. There's going to be, a lot of production to go around. It's not just going to solely be Rome Odunze. Yes, he is a former first-round pick, former top 10 pick, which comes with a lot of expectations, especially when you're receiving passes from a quarterback like Caleb Williams. A lot was made of that duo being taken in the top 10 in the same draft. Like, this is going to be, a prolific duo for years to come. I just think a lot of the criticism for Rome Odunze just kind of seems a bit much sometimes. Like, we got a chance to, interview him, and I've seen him interact with people from his time at Washington. Great guy, like, super nice kid. And I also kind of wonder, like, the stuff that his dad was saying in the media last year, if that has kind of added some unneeded pressure onto him, where I forget what it was that his dad was saying. Something about, like,
there are a couple things. I don't remember totally.
I forget what it was, but at that point, you're just kind of like, Dad, come on now. You're not helping your kid out.
Tom Pelissero reports the Browns are using one of their 30 official visits on Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson. The Ringer's Todd McShay thinks the gap between Simpson and projected number 1 overall pick Mendoza isn't that wide.
If you're looking for the best of Ty Simpson versus the best of Mendoza, I don't see it as a huge gap. Now, Mendoza's tape wasn't great versus Iowa until the end when they needed it. His tape versus Oregon the first time around wasn't great till the end, needed it. Penn State threw that pick in the early fourth quarter, I think it was, then leads them down to that, and then keeps getting better, and the confidence is growing. And then you get to know the young man, and you understand, like, football is everything, his brain, the way he processes, the things he doesn't know or was not asked to do in college. You believe strongly he's going to be able to pick up on that. So I understand why there is a gap between the two, and there's a lot more questions about Simpson than there are about Mendoza. But I think we, as nationally, like media-wise or whatever you want to call it, I think it's been a little bit of a disservice in that it's just Mendoza and, like, who else is QB2? Like, it's so clear cut.
I haven't been paying. Obviously, I watch these teams, particularly in the playoffs, but, like, I'm not like a scout. I don't pretend to be. That's not my lane. I am wondering, Curtis, is this also something where Alabama is seen as such a loaded roster generally that we also look at their quarterbacks as being like, well, It's one thing if a lineman comes out of Bama and you go, that guy's a monster. When it's a quarterback, you just kind of assume, well, he's got this great team around him. It doesn't matter if it's not an Alabama team that won a championship. Like, we know that they have a ton of 4- and 5-star players. Plus, you have the history of Alabama quarterbacks where there are great ones. Make no mistake, certainly.
Yeah.
But there also have been like a random Mac Jones where it's like, well, he clearly benefited from a great roster. He's fine. He's perfectly fine, but not an all-timer.
I have thought that thought, too. One thing about Alabama quarterbacks, they do get kind of a bump in the draft process just because of the overall team success. Like, I consider Jalen Hurts to be an Alabama quarterback, even though he played his senior season at Oklahoma, because I think he started for like 3 years at Alabama before that. I would consider him to be probably the most successful of the recent Alabama guys. Tua had that one good year. You mentioned Mac Jones.
A great backup.
Jalen Milroe hasn't done anything yet at the pro level. So, yeah, I do think Alabama quarterbacks do get a nice little bump in terms of draft projections. Bryce Young has had an up and down first few years in the NFL. I think Simpson's just kind of a benefactor of like the quarterback class as a whole, because I think there was some talk that he might come back into or might come back to Alabama for a senior season, but then he looked at all that was coming out in the draft and he's like, nah, I'm sticking in this one. I think this could be good for me.
All right, still to come, we got Hype Train coming your way at 1:30. Before then, do so many departures threaten Seattle's NFC West title? That's next.
Brock and Salk at Mariners spring training.
With Julio Rodriguez, who sits down with us right now. How long did that loss, that linger for a day, a week, a month?
So once you get a taste of like that, what an actual playoff is, and you experience it as a team, I feel like you just get addicted to it. That gets addicting, at least for me, you know. And like being able to be so close to something so special as a group, I think it really made this team hungry.
Catch every one of Brock and Salk's interviews from Mariners spring training on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. I would rather get my teeth drilled than go to a car dealership. But good news, that changed because of Wayscar Ford in Auburn. The first time I went out there, I was nervous. Just being at a car dealership brings pressure. I feel like I'm going to get ripped off, or pressure to make a decision that day that I'm just not ready for. But instead, I felt immediately comfortable because there's absolutely no pressure at Wayscar Ford, period. And they back it up with a 5-day or 500-mile, 100% no questions asked money-back guarantee. Wayscar Ford is only going to sell you a car if you want to buy one. So if you want a low-pressure experience, Wayscar Ford in Auburn is where you need to go. By the way, they don't just have Fords, they have everything. Take it from me or check out their reviews. They have thousands of 5-star reviews, so you can buy with confidence. Wayscar Ford has been family-owned and operated in downtown Auburn for 103 years. And trust me, you don't stay in business that long by not taking care of people. See it for yourself at Wayscar Ford in Auburn. That's wayscarford.com.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most, that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. All your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 whole years. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in no time with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025. Actual speeds vary. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to the premises by coaxial cable.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Join the Seattle Sports Commission for a star-studded fundraising event featuring the athletes and icons of Washington sports. Experience red carpet interviews, sports exhibits, a silent auction, and live awards show. Created for the sports community by the sports community, all while supporting the nonprofit power of Seattle sports. Don't miss your chance to be among the stars on March 13th at the 91st Annual Sports Star of the Year presented by Microsoft. Get your tickets now at seattlesports.org.
The celebration continues.
We never wavered, man. We believed in each other. We loved each other.
On the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Ooh, that face. Quantum Fiber Internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Hey, Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum Fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of her video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum Fiber Internet blowing the soxies up all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
It's funny how you get used to things in not so ideal condition around the house. It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make zero payments and accumulate zero interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
It's WFC 190 World Fighting Championship at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center. Saturday night, April 25th. Experience the thrill and excitement of high-energy professional mixed martial arts. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this amazing mixed martial arts event. WFC 190 World Fighting Championship. April 25th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older. Need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Is anyone worried about the Seahawks free agent departures? Does it genuinely worry you? I'm going to talk about something else really quick because I want to give you 30 seconds to text in, but also because I need to address something. You've changed.
I have?
Yeah.
In what? Oh.
Because you had a tweet that went viral.
I did.
No, and I need to let everyone know that off air, Curtis checked in on that tweet to see how many people had seen it, what the engagements were like. Like pre-viral Curtis was different.
Look,
he was a friend to us all.
It's a great moment in my life. It's up there with getting married, having children.
And then this tweet going viral.
Having a tweet that has 47,000 likes and counting.
Okay.
Wow.
2.1
million views and counting.
You said, and I quote, "More people have seen my tweet than probably watched First Take this morning."
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a very real thing.
You're not the same.
You know, just numbers never lie. That's what we say. But now, I will say, the worst part about this specific tweet, even though it has gone viral and is kind of taken on a life of its own, it's broke containment. It is no longer being retweeted amongst sports people.
Sure.
Various forms of entertainers have liked it as well.
Okay.
Use your imagination. It's a tweet that is complimentary of ASU, which is the last thing I'd ever want to do.
I was going to say, unfortunately for you, your most viral tweet ever is complimenting the Scum Devils.
It is. It's a great moment, though. It's of Bill Self after he got ejected and Kansas lost to ASU. And as he's walking up the tunnel, the ASU arena hits the smoke machines.
Objectively funny.
It's so funny.
Someone tried saying maybe it was for safety so no one throws anything.
No, I don't think so.
I think it was just great timing.
Yeah,
it was great comedic timing by the arena worker. We got this text from a listener earlier. Look, says the listener, I'm no Rams fan. To the contrary, I actually dislike them very much. But to look at what's happening this offseason and see that if we wind up losing all these free agents that we are projected to lose, there's simply no way the Seahawks can say they're better than the Rams. Frankly, I think we're looking at third place in the NFC West. They said the Rams are simply in a position to run back almost all the team that narrowly lost to us, while the Seahawks are in a position to lose a lot of what made them unique. The last point is a fair point. I don't think there's a world where the Seahawks are looking at third place in the NFC West without losing a significant player due to injuries, probably a couple players. I think that last point is unique. If I'm going to say, Curtis, well, the Seahawks invested the most money in special teams, and we're one of the Jets were the best in special teams DVOA, but we're one of the best special teams units in the league, and that was a huge factor because the Rams were one of the worst. Is that still true without Rashid Shaheed?
It's not as true.
Yeah. The gap is there, but not as pronounced.
Right. I think the Seahawks still have a really good special teams unit without Rashid Shaheed. Is it the very best in the league or one of the very best in the league? I'd put it like probably top 10 without Shaheed's ability to break a game open at a moment's notice. Now, Torrey Horton also had a punt return for a touchdown this season. We don't know what Horton is going to do next season, if he's going to be available or deal with injuries that he dealt with this past season. But yes, I would say you do lose some of that flair that made the 2025 Seahawks what they were in some of these guys departing. You kind of wonder what the safety rotation is going to look like without Kobe Bryant if he ends up leaving in free agency. Hopefully he's back, but I would imagine you just kind of slide Nicky Manwari over to where Kobe Bryant's playing. You got Julian Love and Nicky Manwari and
Ty Okada
too.
And then keep how you're using Nicky Manwari.
So there's that possibility of all the guys that you lose in free agency. But this text where they say, frankly, I think we're looking at third place in the NFC West. One, I don't see that. Two, third place in the NFC West last year was 12 wins.
It was 16.
Yeah, it was a pretty good season for whoever finished third place in the NFC West a year ago. And I think it's going to be nearly as competitive as it was this last season. I think the 49ers are still headed towards a good season. They're going to get a lot of their guys back healthy. Now, George Kittle's a year older, what have you. But I still think the 49ers are in a good spot. The Seahawks, even with the potential departures of some of these free agents, it's not like the cupboard's bare. It's not like you're losing Leonard Williams. You're not losing JSN. You're not losing Sam Darnold. You're not losing Ernest Jones. None of that.
Well, and I don't mean to interrupt, but while we're still on the topic, look at the other side with the Rams. That's also assuming that everything stays true for them. Part of what was so great for them and why that lead that the Seahawks had was so narrow is because Matthew Stafford, I would say in 2 of those 3 games, looked like the MVP that he ended up being.
Yeah.
That Puka Nacua finished just shy of JSN in terms of total yards on the season. You're also assuming that holds true for them, but not Seattle. That Matthew Stafford at 38 will continue to be an MVP. That Puka Nacua will also get over 1,700 yards, but that Seattle won't.
Yeah.
If there's going to be regression, if you're expecting regression for Seattle, why not also expect it for the Rams offense?
Right, because Puka's probably not going to put up 1,700 yards next year. He's probably going to put up maybe like 1,300, 1,400 just because it's so hard to do that year in and year out because so few guys have ever done that just in any season, let alone back-to-back seasons, just as we're all probably going to expect some level of regression from JSN too. But, yeah, and you bring up Matthew Stafford's age. At some point, quarterbacks hit the wall, and they are not what they were prior to that. I think Geno Smith maybe hit a little bit of a wall this season in terms of his, forward progress that he had been making over his 3 seasons as a starter here in Seattle, where, I mean, he's entering his age 35 season now, I want to say, 34, 35?
Geno?
Yeah. And, he's definitely not the quarterback that he was here in Seattle, where Sam Darnold is 28, going to be 29, and it feels like he still has some really good years left in him to where you can envision him as the Seahawks starting quarterback for 3, 4, 5 more years. Matthew Stafford, I mean, maybe another year. I mean, for sure another year, but beyond 2026, can anybody say that he's going to be there?
Right.
So I think not only do you have to account for regression with the Seahawks, because it's really hard to win 14 games in a row, 14 games 2 years in a row. Sam Darnold did it. Seahawks didn't do it, but Sam Darnold did it. But I'm not expecting a 14-win season next year because there's only, three ways you can improve upon a 14-win season. And 14 wins is a ridiculous amount in any year.
Yeah. Very well said. Most importantly, the text line's calling you Hollywood Curtis.
Well, it's true.
Okay.
It's true.
All right. Rich Eisen proposed an interesting question. Is it worth it anymore to give quarterbacks top-of-the-market deals? That's next.
Having one of those days where a little of this would make things so much better?
Fastball, strike 3 called. He got him looking. How about that for a Cactus League debut? Cade Anderson striking out the side.
We got you. You can stream every Mariners spring training game live for free on the Seattle Sports app. Making lives better through Mariners baseball, one
Goodbye baseball
at a time. Home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. In the past 5 years, we've seen thousands of men at our clinics. Most guys tell us the same story, that in their early 50s, it's not that they couldn't function, they just needed help. They started taking Viagra, and it worked great at first. But after a few years, it stopped working. The problem is that their arteries had become more restricted since they started taking it, because Viagra does not unclog arteries. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to target the real problem. We break down plaque and clear up the arteries so blood can flow like it did in your 20s. This restores function. And guys, listen to this. You won't have to take a pill anymore. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Spring is here, Seattle, and now is the smartest time to replace your roof. Trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing, a local, family-owned company that knows how to roof in Washington weather year-round. Schedule your free estimate today at 3treeroofing.com to take advantage of spring pricing, shorter wait times, and get $500 off your new roof before the summer rush hits. Our experts come to you, build a clear plan, and give you an estimate that same day. No surprises and no high-pressure sales tactics. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Sometimes we hang on to our old attorneys and coaches too long. They've been around, they've done good work. But when the legal game changes, you need a team that is hungry to win now. At Bible Law Group, we're that faster, hard-hitting legal team, ready to fight for every inch in the courtroom. With over 40 million closed for our clients, we know how to win, and we're ready to take on the biggest legal case of your career with you. Don't stick with a playbook that's gone stale. Switch to the legal team that's ready to win now. Let Bible Law Group be your linebacker in the courtroom. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free, too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to A to Z Savings, our biggest sale of the year.
Happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with Duralast rotors.
Free. Really?
Really? Free.
I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah. How much is that?
Free with the oil.
Free. Really?
Really? Free. It's part of A to Z Savings with hundreds of deals.
From A to free.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Ends March 9th. Restrictions apply.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Jason Tatum's on track to make his season debut as early as tomorrow night. He's only 10 months removed from tearing his Achilles during the 2025 playoffs. Curtis, you know what that feels like. DJ Moore's been traded to the Bills. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting Chicago dealt their star wideout to wide receiver needy Buffalo in exchange for a second-round pick. Chicago also sent a fifth-rounder. Moore reunites with current head coach Joe Brady, who was his OC in Carolina.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Just a casual 12-run second inning for the Padres in this Cactus League matchup in Peoria. Mariners can get back in this one, right? Bottom of the second.
Still early. Lot of game
left. There's a lot of game left. No one's even out yet. Look at this. A hit right there.
Yeah. This is where the rally starts.
I hope I didn't spoil it for anyone who likes to listen
There are
back.
people that do listen back at night and do get
I'm sorry.
Very.
Okay, well, none of us know because this game's happening in real time.
Right, we
It's
don't
only
know
a
what the
second.
final score is going to be.
None of us know what the final score is going to be.
Spoiler alert, it starts out pretty rough for the Mariners.
I will let you know, and I'm sorry to rip off that Band-Aid. I really should have made sure to check with you guys if anyone was listening on tape delay, which you always can, obviously, on Seattle Sports, 6 p.m., right?
Yes.
7. Thank you, Brady.
7.
It's going to be rough going. But
sure.
We will rise.
It's spring training for everyone. That's just what you got to remind yourself of.
You got a lot of guys.
Shannon Dreyer, our Mariners insider, did say that the wind is howling in Peoria today. It's
blowing away their World Series hopes right now in real time.
We just got to make it through today. You can't put all your eggs in a March 5th Cactus Leaguer between the Mariners and Padres. I'm telling you.
It's too late.
And now the Mariners have 2 runners on.
I'm going to get
in the second inning.
Into this game. Brady's in the control room celebrating. Why are we into a 12-1 game? What happened? What happened to us?
I will say,
I'm going to keep following this game for the rest of the day.
If you've ever made your way down to Peoria, you know games can get pretty funky. I remember going down probably close to 10 years ago now. The Mariners were in not necessarily a similar spot in a Cactus League game where they weren't down like 12-0 or anything, but they were down probably like 11-3 and ended up coming back and winning that.
Didn't someone get mercy ruled the other day?
Well, I think the Yankees today may have gotten mercy ruled. It looks like their game ended in 7 innings. Yeah, they lost 15-0 to the Twins.
Sinking to the bottom of it.
Well, the Giants
AL East is what they're doing.
When Team USA took on the Giants the other day, it was like 16-1.
Well, didn't they agree to play 10? So
yeah.
It was like 15
Well, and at the end
runs.
of that game, some Team USA players were actually Giants minor leaguers that were just there to kind of like help the Giants get working because all the Team USA starters had left the game except for Cal.
Yeah.
Cal was in there all 9 innings.
Of course. Checks out. All right, that's not what we were going to talk about here. I just glanced at the score and couldn't believe it. I also couldn't believe it was all in 1 inning. Is it worth it anymore to give quarterbacks top of the market deals? The Seahawks don't have a decision to make per se when it comes to their quarterback, so I know that this initially sounds like it isn't the most relevant thing, but all of us, I think, are always interested in this kind of topic. And to be fair, the Seahawks are going to have to give top-of-the-market money to a couple other players. And we're all wondering what that means for making it to a Super Bowl. So here's Rich Eisen talking about quarterbacks.
When you bring in a coach who's like, I got you, and it works to a point where you see some success, not ultimate success, and then the ultimate success, you make the playoffs in a freezer bowl in Kansas City, but your quarterback's not there because his concussion problem has him knocked out. You're sitting there thinking, we have this. Coach says I got it. General manager says I got it. You go to the owner and say, we want to pay all this money, and the owner's probably going to sit there and Stephen Ross go, that's what I hired you to do. You believe in it. Let's do it. Then it doesn't happen. General manager gets fired. Coach gets fired. So what do? You just tell Tua we're not doing it, and then you watch him go and win a Super Bowl somewhere else? Just take a look at what's happening in Minnesota right now. Whatever's going on in Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy and that quarterback room and the general manager who just got swapped out, they can all say it's not the case. But whatever's boiling there in Minnesota, don't you think a lid got put on that boiling pot by Sam Darnold's Super Bowl championship?
Teams are having a harder time keeping success going after paying quarterbacks top of the market money.
I think that's very true. I'm just looking at the highest paid quarterbacks in the game right now, the Cowboys and Dak Prescott. Over the Cap has him as the highest earning quarterback. Yeah, I think the Cowboys have had a very hard time putting together a championship team with Dak Prescott as their quarterback. Not to say it's Dak's fault, but you're paying him all that money, and look what happened last year. They had to trade Micah Parsons. Joe Burrow, number 2.
Yeah, can't add to that defense.
Exactly. Josh Allen, 3rd. He did take less, I think, than what he had been offered. But again, the Bills
I should also pause and say for both Cincinnati and Buffalo, there are also very fair critiques of the front office.
Yeah.
With some moves that could have been, the Bills could have traded for Rashid Shaheed.
They sure could have. They
didn't.
could have done it today.
Yeah.
They got DJ Moore, but
yeah, but like there were moves that either of these teams, the Bengals could have drafted and developed a bit better on defense. So there are moves they could have made too, but go on.
Yeah, and you got Jordan Love at $55 million, Burrow, Allen, Love, and Trevor Lawrence all making the exact same average annual value at $55. The Jags made it to the playoffs, but I mean, did they really feel like a Super Bowl contender this year? TBD. Tua, no. The Lions
said with vitriol.
The Lions with Jared Goff. Yeah, I mean when they have everything going for them, but they've had to lose a lot of parts over the last couple of years in terms of coordinators. They just traded away David Montgomery. That Lions team looks a lot different heading into 2026 than what ended the 2024 season when they won 15 games. 49ers with Brock Purdy making $53 million. We saw what they look like in the first year of that deal this year, and they were not as well-rounded as they have been. Justin Herbert with the Chargers, I'm going to say no right now in terms of can they win a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens at $52 million. I wonder if their window's closing.
Here's the flip side. All of that's correct. If you had Lamar Jackson on your team, like right now on the Seahawks, if you had Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, I'll throw in as well. Would you ever let them go?
No.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's the pickle that many a GM finds himself in, and that's kind of where the league is now. And also what Rich Eisen is pointing at, where like you can find a million examples of teams that have been like, okay, we're not going to pay that guy. We're going to move on, and then have gone years and years and years and years without finding a quarterback. Just as you can find examples of teams that have paid that guy and have never been able to build a complete roster.
That's the thing, is that it's so hard to find a franchise quarterback at all. Like, even like regardless of what you're paying them, whether it be a rookie, whether it be a veteran, like teams go decades without having a franchise quarterback. Think about how long the Bears wandered the desert before getting the number 1 pick via trade to go get Caleb Williams. And I mean, even Caleb Williams, his rookie season was less than what I think a lot of us expected out of him. He had a much better second season of his career, and I think things are looking up for him heading into year number 3. But this is the most hope the Bears have had at the quarterback spot for years, for decades. And the Seahawks have been on this unbelievable run. I think their run of quarterback play is very underrated across the NFL because we have not had bad starting quarterback play since maybe Rick Meyer in the mid 90s. Because you think about it, after him, it was Warren Moon, it was John Kitna, and then that led into Matt Hasselbeck.
There was a period between Hasselbeck and Russ.
It was Tavares Jackson for 1 year.
I think it's just bad year.
Right, and I think everybody kind of looked at that season.
Yeah,
everybody kind of looked at that season as a step back year.
Yeah,
just kind of
that's fair.
Shifting the focus a little bit, and it ultimately set up the most successful run we've ever seen out of this franchise. You go from it's been almost 30 years of competent quarterback play here in Seattle. We're pretty blessed to have had this run, considering what a lot of other franchises go through. And I think part of that, too, how special it's been here is that a lot of it has been quarterbacks outplaying their contract. Russ, his first 2 years in the NFL, very much, he was the best bargain in the league. Sam Darnold outplaying his contract. Geno Smith doing the same thing.
Someone said Geno was hot trash. Not when he was with Seattle.
Not when he was with Seattle.
For what you were paying him?
Pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Especially that first year when he was starting.
Which is what Curtis is saying. Curtis isn't saying that all of those quarterbacks are equal, but that you were getting more value than you were paying.
And so I kind of wonder if the Seahawks look at those final years of Russell Wilson here in Seattle when they were paying him top of the market money, and they look at that and say, well, we weren't the best team we thought we could be because of what we were paying Russ. And then look, the second they trade him, they get 2 first-round picks. They use one of those on Charles Cross. They use another on Devin Witherspoon. I think Derek Hall was another pick that they got out of that trade as well. And, you see what you were able to do in terms of roster building without having a quarterback making top of the market money. And, I mean, look, Geno Smith making $37.5 million average annual value, even that was too steep of a price the Seahawks were willing to go to with a quarterback. And maybe too steep of a price for Geno.
Yes.
If that was, Lamar Jackson or whatever.
Well, then it's a bargain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I kind of look at where the Seahawks are with their quarterback and what they choose to pay them. And I think it was James Palmer who pointed out to us, he was at John Schneider was asked at the Combine, could Sam Darnold get a rework contract? And he's like, well, he signed a 3-year deal with us. He's going to honor those years. And I think the Seahawks now are kind of we have made it a pretty well-known point league-wide. We are not going to dabble in that top-of-the-market money for a quarterback if we don't have to.
And with all of that being said, not that these quarterbacks were getting paid top of as a number one market value money, but all of them were the highest paid player on their team, or at least number 2. When you look at the quarterbacks who have actually won Super Bowls, far more often you're going to see the same names reflected, though. That's that tricky part, right? Look, Peyton Manning and Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger were routinely appearing on that list out of the AFC. I believe all of them did it on rookie deals. So there were times when it was a bargain, absolutely. And I don't want to hear Tom Brady took less. He was still getting paid. He was at every point still.
It was just slightly less.
It was slightly less.
The
slightly less.
Yeah.
He was not taking I'm getting paid, the 30th out of 32
He's not doing the Shohei Ohtani deferred money stuff that's a little suspicious in Major League Baseball.
He won Super Bowls taking up, the biggest salary or a notable chunk.
Yeah.
Just not that kind of, 20-something% threshold that people started to look at. I just don't know who stops that. What quarterback is going to say, no, spend money elsewhere?
Right. And I don't think the Players Association would allow for it either.
Absolutely not. So what do you do? Have you heard that one proposal about what if you have quarterbacks
and their salary doesn't
not against
count
the salary cap? But then only the richest owners, right? How would that even work? Would it be only the richest owners can pay for the best quarterbacks?
I guess, but they're
all billionaires.
Yeah, and I think there is something to be said for teams that are able to either A, win with a quarterback that is making top of the market money, because like Patrick Mahomes, when his contract was much more closer to the top of the list, because right now his average annual value is that of like Kirk Cousins, and he's making less than Deshaun Watson and Kyler Murray.
Deshaun Watson continues to be the worst deal I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's because, and Mahomes signed his deal so early in his career, like years ago. I think it was 2020 when he signed his deal, and he signed it for, I think it was like 10 years or something, ridiculous in length. But, like, I think there's something to be said about a GM who can maneuver his team around a top dollar quarterback in order to get that team winning at a high level. Also, I think there's something to be said about a team or about a GM that can get his team winning when he's not paying somebody super high money. Like the Seahawks, and being able to find Sam Darnold and have him be what he was this season and not have to pay him $60 million. Like that is an incredible job done by that front office, recognizing who was available and saying, like, let's go get him. I would not be a fan of counting quarterback money outside of what the salary cap already is. And plus, the salary cap goes up significantly every year. It's up like 20 extra million this year.
Why wouldn't you be a fan? Is it because you're like, I think that just creates another
I think
basket
that's
of problems?
just kind of a cheap way of going about building a team. It's not fixing.
It feels a little Kyrie
problem.
Irving to you.
Yeah, it feels like the NBA
It feels a little
used to,
tree company to me.
Yeah, the NBA used to have this amnesty clause where if you could, without penalty, just get rid of your worst contract on your team. It was after, I think, the 2012 lockout where a lot of teams were spending frivolously, and they were like, all right, we're putting this one-time amnesty clause in. You can use it whenever on whoever, and their contract just gets absorbed. The league will pay it. You don't have to worry about it. And so teams were obviously cutting guys left and right. Yeah. And it felt kind of cheap because it's like, well, no, you signed up for that. Like, you're the one that made him the highest paid guy at his position in this way. Mariners now down 15-2.
Well, but they also added 2 runs.
Sure.
So 2
steps forward.
We're actually still
3 steps back.
We're 13-0. Nothing's changed. Yeah, I'm trying to find a good football argument for what in my gut I feel is kind of unfair to do, which is to ask players to take less money so that everyone can get paid. I think it's something like a rule we apply to, because I can't fathom making that much money, nor am I worth that much money. My talents are not worth that much money, so that's in part why. To me, $1 million would be absolutely amazing. Who am I, though, to tell anyone who's getting the market value of their contract, you should take less so other people can get more, so your GM has a little more wiggle room to make some mistakes?
Right.
What?
Yeah.
That's the most money you're ever going to make in your life. I'm not talking about like that year best contract. In your life, in your adult years, most people will never make, former players will never make as much money as they make with some of these contracts, barring, successful broadcasting careers and endorsements, which many don't end up doing.
Yeah. It's, it is one of the toughest things to do in the NFL is to build out a roster while also wanting to pay your quarterback and probably needing to pay your quarterback, but does it ultimately work out that way? When I see the Seahawks and how they've operated and, kind of what Sam Darnold might end up asking for in a couple of years, I don't know. I think the Seahawks might be, I think they've dug their heels in just based off of the body of work that we've seen from them.
During 4 Down Territory, Brady, full permission to just interview us at any point with score updates. I believe the Mariners can get back into this thing. Down 13 runs. It's only top of the third.
Only top.
All the confidence in the world.
I do. So interrupt the show with score updates if you wouldn't mind. Let's get to 4 Down Territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Stacy, first down to you. Who do you hear mentioned often as a replacement for Ken Walker?
So I did not just pick a random name. I have been paying attention to our text line, which is just our best form of trying to gauge listener responses.
And the Mariners are down another 2 runs, 17-2 after a home run by the Padres.
All right.
Thank you, Brady. It works. I like the score updates. I do. I got this from seeing listener responses, and the most common name I was seeing was Rico Dowdle. I think that people look at 1,000 yards with Carolina, 1,000 yards in back-to-back seasons. That's nothing to look down your nose at. It's very impressive. And also the price point being much lower than Ken Walker. I totally get why you would be sold on that one. So yeah, Rico Dowdle, the name I see mentioned most often. I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
Second down. Stacey, who would be the most interesting or intriguing replacement the Seahawks can send?
Tyler Algier. We talked earlier with James Palmer of The Athletic, who mentioned that this would be a really interesting one for him. And so it was in part inspired by a couple NFL analysts we've had on mentioning him. But he's just consistent year over year. He hasn't missed a game. Obviously, he's not the starter in Atlanta. It's Bijan Robinson. So maybe if you have more carries, you'd rack up more injuries. But he hasn't missed a game. And he's giving you, outside of his rookie season, which was 1,000 yards, he's giving you 500 to 600 yards every single year. You know what to expect. He's also a really, really physical runner. So you're not replacing Ken Walker's skill set when you're bringing in Tyler Algier. He's not like the most explosive runner in football. He doesn't have Ken Walker's speed. It's kind of like you're replacing Zach Charbonnet in a way. So it's interesting.
Third down. So, Stacey, what's unique about that fit?
I don't know that that's typically how backfields, like a running back by committee approach, how those are typically built, right? You have your guy that's your speedster, a little more finesse. Maybe you have a guy who's a pass catcher. And of course, every team is going to have, like, in an ideal world, you wouldn't sit Bijan Robinson. You wouldn't sit Christian McCaffrey. You're going to have, some backups no matter what. But think of Seattle's backfield last year. You have Ken Walker, who gives you lots of explosive plays and speed, and he's that home run guy. And then you have Charbonnet, who's like a between-the-tackles bruiser. I don't know that there are many backfields that have two versions of that between the tackles guy. There aren't a lot of really successful committees in general, but it's just a very interesting way to replicate the success you had last year with a very different style. So I'm intrigued by it, and I also couldn't find a lot of examples of that being, what a backfield looks like for a lot of teams.
Fourth down. So, Stacey, we've looked at a lot of options the Seahawks could do at running back. What would you not do?
I say this with love and light, with respect. Do not rely only on your in-house options. First of all, I don't think John Schneider is doing that. There is not a world where John Schneider's going, I like Helani and Kenny McIntosh. We don't need to do anything. Mike, what else do you want to draft? We don't live in that world right now. But I think this is more me pushing back a little bit against the idea that the Seahawks have an answer, right? I think there just are some folks who see what Ken Walker did, over 300 yards through the playoffs, and they go, yeah, that's really cool, but that's not really who he is. Sure, if you want to make that argument, fine. He was most successful as part of a committee. It's also, you could argue why he stayed healthy enough to do what he did in the playoffs. Maybe you think that paying him, close to 14 is an overpay. Totally fair take. I don't think it's a fair take to think that you don't need a special talent to replace him. You do. In fact, I would go out and sign 2 running backs in free agency, or, just get, sign one, draft another, get as many as you possibly can. It's not an especially great draft class for running backs. So you're talking about bringing in a guy from a 6th rounder who maybe is able to make the squad. I would always caution against thinking that replacing anyone is easy. I'm blown away by what John Schneider has done with this squad because it's not. You know what I mean? It's specifically because you don't just turn and look at what you already have and just think that'll do. We'll just go with this option. We'll just keep cycling through. No, it's incredibly difficult to build up a roster that works like that. And I don't think it always happens. So caution against it. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know. 866-979-3776 coming your way at 1:45. Hype Train coming up next on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
Sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. Spring, well, that's the perfect time to start planning your dream deck. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get you started with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. What does it mean? Well, it means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. Most people who start with a design package end up with the outdoor space they've always dreamed of. And this offer is your first step. Don't wait until summer and wish you had started the process sooner. Start it now. Do what Molly and I did some years ago. Contact PCF Construction Group today. Get project ideas, browse photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. Go see my friends at PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First.
If you actually are the person that will take care of them after the fact, if you actually will be there for them, if you will pick up your phone, then they come back to you.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Get ready for a night of hard-hitting MMA excitement with WFC 190, April 25th at Emerald Queen Casino. World Fighting Championships MMA February 6th, only at the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
High five! Up top! Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Heck yeah! He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread. Yes! The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Seattle Sports.
Yo, Harvey, Zoe, group selfie.
Ooh, nice new iPhone 17, Drewski.
Let's do a triangle formation. I'm in front.
With a center stage front camera, everyone fits in the shot.
You got it at T-Mobile.
But switching takes forever.
Not anymore. Now you can switch to T-Mobile in just 15 minutes.
Focus, people. Nail your pose.
And you get a new iPhone 17 on them.
No way.
Yes way.
No way.
Yes way, guys. Switch to T-Mobile and get iPhone 17 on us. And right now, we'll pay off your old phone up to $800.
I'm grabbing my phone and switching to T-Mobile right now.
Get back, Harvey. We're taking a... let's go again, y'all.
With 24 monthly bill credits, finance agreement, 256 gigabytes, $830, eligible trade-in, example iPhone 13, and new qualifying line, $60 plus per month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees. For well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. $800 via virtual prepaid card. Card typically takes 15 days after rebate submission, no cash access, and card expires in 6 months. Check out in 15 minutes per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What I need to know is coming your way in 15 minutes. You can get those questions in right now, 866-979-3776. Brady, could you remind me what the MLB record is for runs allowed in a game?
For the Padres specifically here, 18.
In the Cactus League.
In the Cactus League. Yes, Cactus League. Although I think it's also 18 in a regular season game, right?
No, I think they've gotten above 20. The most in a regular season game of any team is 30.
Oh, yeah, because we got to go
Hey, we're already over halfway there.
That was the Texas Rangers back in like 07.
Well, with that being said, let's head to the station for Hype Train. The Padres set a new record today in runs scored in a Cactus League game. They are at 17 right now. You said, Brady, one shy of the record? One shy of tying the record.
One shy of tying.
Oh, they're going to do it.
No. I mean, sorry, Curtis. I forgot I'm third. Are you boarding this train?
Yeah, we'll board this train. We're not even halfway through the game. Now, I believe the Padres are on the verge of having a 1-2-3 inning here. But yeah, 17 runs in the top of the fourth. Yeah, we're seeing history today.
Brady, are you boarding this train?
I'm boarding this train, the next train, and every train involved in this because they got too much time. Oh, wait, here we go. Deep fly ball, deep left field, and it's going over, and we've tied the record at 18, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, I'm not boarding this train. I think the bleeding stops here. I think it stops here.
You're so close to a 1-2-3.
I think we go prevent defense. You know what I mean? No more infielders.
Everybody's in the outfield.
7 outfielders.
This game does have a slow pitch softball vibe to it.
They can end it, right? No, you know what? No. I think that it ends now. It ends now. No more runs allowed. It's just they tied the record. That's all. That's all that happened.
I don't see them playing a full 9 today. I think,
which is why they're not going to break the record.
Yeah, I think this one ends as soon as the Mariners run out of pitchers.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a quick one.
Next up, Rashid Shaheed hitting free agency, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. This is about where he's going to play next. Rashid Shaheed will play for the Raiders in 2026. Curtis.
Boarding. Absolutely boarding that train. I think that one feels inevitable. I think that feels the most inevitable of really any free agent move out there. Yeah, Rashid Shaheed is a member of the Las Vegas Raiders. That's how I see it happening in 2026.
Rashid Shaheed is playing for the Raiders in 2026. Brady, you boarding along with Curtis?
I'm boarding this train, of course. I mean, I feel like the Raiders are going to give him a good enough contract that he can't pass up. And, I mean, Tom Brady is just going to recruit who he's going to recruit.
Yes. All aboard this one, and as much as it pains me, I think we've just had too many people hint at it as well. That Joel Corey joining us and saying, like, I think Vegas is going to be calling. I think that he ends up with his former OC twice and goes to Vegas. Next up, Max Crosby will be a Bear.
through the power of science, or he'll get traded to the Chicago Bears.
He'll get traded to the Chicago Bears.
I'm not boarding that train. I don't think he ends up as a Chicago Bear, mainly because I don't want the Bears to be that good. Like, slow your roll here.
So you want to ruin Chicago's vibes?
Yeah, I do. I think Max Crosby ends up in Jerry World. I think he's a Dallas Cowboy come week 1, just because Jerry
loves attention.
Loves that, and he loves making lateral moves. It's like you had this type of player in Micah Parsons already, and you didn't have to give up 2 first-round picks to sign Micah Parsons. So, yeah, I think Max Crosby ends up as a Dallas Cowboy in 2026. So we're not boarding that train. I don't think he'll be a Bear.
Brady, Max Crosby will be a Bear in 2026. As Curtis says, not through the power of science, but via NFL trade.
I don't think the Bears are willing to give up enough to get Max Crosby over there. I mean, I just don't see them doing that. I feel like they're going to continue to address their offensive woes rather than their defensive woes. And, of course, Jerry's World is just going to give him a mouth-watering contract that nobody can compete with.
I am boarding this train, and I'm being inspired by a tweet from Trey Wingo. Did you already see this?
I did not.
Trey Wingo, things are moving fast regarding Max Crosby. Last night, Dallas thought they were close to a deal, but since then, other teams have raised the ante and potentially are offering the Raiders 2 firsts. It's expected that Dallas will now shift their focus to Trey Hendrickson.
Oh,
so
okay.
I thought that it would be Dallas for sure, and then I saw that, and I was like, Trey Wingo's well connected. I know that anytime trades like this are expected, you know, you hear lots of rumors and hear lots of reports, in part because many deals are being talked about. Yeah. So, you know, one guy might be hearing like, oh, Dallas is close, but I thought that was interesting because he doesn't say the Bears are the other team. I feel like everyone's just kind of putting it together.
I think so. Yeah, 253 says they're boarding the train that Max Crosby becomes an actual Bear.
He'd be an even better pass rusher.
I think he's more biologically closer to being a Bear than any of us.
Would I rather be trapped in a room with Max Crosby
the
man
Max
Crosby the bear? What am I safer with? Next up. The Seahawks should sign Trey Hendrickson. Pay attention to the should here. You're not saying, oh, yeah, I think that, you're saying, no, I think they should. I think they should make this move. Boarding?
Yes, we're boarding this train. Give me Trey Hendrickson a year later than what was anticipated. I think a lot of people wanted him here, give up draft picks to get him, but you don't need to do that now. You just got to sign him. There is nothing left you have to do other than just say, hey, you want to play for a ton of money with the defending Super Bowl champs? You do? All right, let's bring him in. So, yes, we're boarding that train. I want to see Trey Hendrickson in a Seahawks uniform. Do I think they do it? Probably not, but I think they should.
Brady. I lost my place. Sorry. Seahawks should sign Trey Hendrickson.
Should they? Absolutely. I'm boarding that train.
Okay.
I mean,
not if it was will they, but if it was a should they.
If it's a should they, absolutely.
He's going to get a lot of money, especially if you're competing, according to Trey Wingo, with Dallas for his services, although they're in cap trouble more so than you. Yeah, you have a better cap situation than Dallas. Sure, I'll board this train. Wow, 2 fully boarded trains. Next up. Miami of Ohio deserves to make the NCAA tourney even if they lose before Selection Sunday.
Put them in. Boarding this train. At worst, their record would be, 31-1 or something like that? I mean, they could even go all the way to the MAC title game and be like 33-0 before losing. You're telling me a 33-1 record would keep them out of the NCAA tournament? No. You've lost me completely if that happens. So, yeah, put them in the tournament. They're fine.
Miami of Ohio deserves to make the NCAA tourney even if they lose before Selection Sunday. Brady?
Put them in, baby. I want to see all the teams possible. That can be a bracket buster. I don't care what seed you put them in. I just want to see people lose.
Isn't this part... Curtis, I thought you made a great point earlier. This is part of what makes March magical in the first place.
Yes.
All the unpredictableness.
All the Cinderellas.
Yeah, weren't we just... I forget who it was. Who was just complaining that... I don't know if they said March Madness, but
it was the college football playoff.
Was
where
it
there
Joel
was
Klatt?
Yes, it was Joel Klatt who used the NCAA tournament as a reason for why you shouldn't expand the college football playoff.
Yes.
And it's like, I don't know, dude. That's the most thrilling thing about the first 2 days or the first weekend of the tournament. Once you get to the Sweet 16, like the round of 64 and the round of 32, like that's magic, man.
You know what?
That's the perfect sporting event.
You know what I'll never forget? Number 1 Virginia and number 1 Purdue going down.
Yeah.
I watched that Virginia game against UMBC. I will never forget that. Not like it was one of the best games I've ever seen, but like those are part of March.
Before.
When you yell, this is
historic.
March, it's over half of a good chunk of it is about watching the best players and the best moments. And because we all love college hoops, et cetera, you're going to see great plays. And we just love March Madness. Another part of it, a notable chunk, is about the upsets and Cinderella stories. Again, a great point that you made where it's like, that's part of what people love. Why would you keep it out to pit a worse SEC team in?
Yeah, no thank you. You want some good Seahawks news?
Yeah.
Ian Rappaport is reporting that the Seahawks and starting linebacker Drake Thomas have agreed to terms on a new 2-year deal worth $8 million base with a chance to make $9 million, sources say. So
good for you, Drake.
Good to see him back in Seattle. Not everybody is leaving.
That's true. You know, I'm glad that we began the show with a lot of fear and we're ending it with feeling a little validated. That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Drake isn't mad at us.
No. He had 96 tackles last year.
Yeah. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. Send them now.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
That same Louisiana flavor y'all love about our chicken?
It's flawless.
Yeah, we did that to crispy Alaskan flounder and butterfly shrimp too. We just couldn't help ourselves. And we didn't stop there. You can add lemon pepper or garlic Parmesan rub to that shrimp. Now we only do seafood every so often, so you know what to expect.
Popeyes can't miss.
That's right. The seafood menu is back.
This is real fish.
At participating restaurants.
At Big Trees, you don't have to shop alone. Certified arborists are available to help you choose the right trees for your yard. Plus, each tree Big Trees installs offers a 1-year warranty and a free aftercare visit from our board-certified arborists. Come visit the nursery, no appointment necessary, and see our wide selection of species. You'll find the perfect fit for your landscape needs at Big Trees in Snohomish, or visit us online at bigtreesupply.com.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. The season first tryout for adults ages 18 to 65 and older is this Sunday, March 8th at Hogan Park at Russell Road in Kent. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels. There's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers to high school and even former college and pros. Get all the info at PSSBL.com. That's PSSBL.com.
Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
At Bible Law Group, we understand what it means to be local legal representation. From shopping at the Bon Marché, picking up gear at Chubby and Tubby, crying for Joey Cora, now for Cal, grabbing a burger while JP Patches clowns by. We live here and fight for you. That's why Bible Law gives local representation to those facing legal problems too big for prayers, even if you can't pronounce Squim or Puyallup. Our legal team has secured more than $40 million in settlements for our clients. We're ready to fight for you. Find us online at BibleLawGroup.com.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman speaking to those who have recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. It's important to know you have several options for treatment. I'm here with Dr. Meyer, medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, to talk about one of the best and technologically advanced treatment options, CyberKnife. Dr. Meyer, why is CyberKnife one of the best procedures to treat prostate cancer?
Well, treatment for prostate cancer can affect men's quality of life. It can affect their romantic life. It can affect their urine and bowel function. And the CyberKnife does the best job of preserving that function while having excellent cancer control rates.
What do your patients think of the CyberKnife treatment experience?
Well, at the Swedish CyberKnife, our patients are really satisfied with the experience. They report very few side effects, and we are seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later.
To learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/CyberKnife-prostate or call 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. What I Need to Know. Hey, Logan Paul said he would beat any NFL player in a fight. Choose your fighter.
Ever?
Yeah, because he said former or current NFL player. So not like someone who you can't pick LT.
Vontaze
unless you pick
perfect.
LT now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he'd fight dirty.
Yeah, Vontaze perfect.
That's a good one.
He changed lives out there. Like Antonio Brown was never the same after that hit.
I mean, my mind did automatically go to Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
He's just one of the freakiest, strongest people.
And
strongest. I think Aaron Donald or...
Yeah, he'd be a good one.
I mean, I think a number of people would mop the floor.
I think Aaron Donald just wrap him up in one arm, put him to sleep like that.
Again, none of it's real. I'm convinced none of this is real. He's just trying to get engagement, and it's working, unfortunately, because I'm talking about it right now.
People are going to fall hook, line, and sinker into it.
What I need to know, can you say whatever you want about someone as long as you preface it with no disrespect intended? I did that earlier.
It definitely opens the door for any number of things to be said.
Yeah.
I think you still got to keep it relatively respectful. you just can't be a jerk after you say, no disrespect intended.
What I need to know. What's workplace etiquette regarding the community fridge and food with no name? I've been staring at a fat burrito on a big paper plate at my workplace fridge for a week. It has no name. It doesn't look to have been touched. Is it okay to eat it since no one claimed it in over a week? Or do I need to let it keep taking up valuable fridge room until it's cleaned out?
My thing with food, like with leftovers in the fridge, and I believe this is an actual thing, that after about 72 hours, you got to throw it out. It just doesn't keep well.
I was going to say, it's not even about work etiquette. It's about food safety. Don't eat that burrito.
Yeah. If it's food that has been prepared, that has just been sitting in a fridge, don't eat it after probably like 3 days.
Yeah, you need to leave that burrito alone.
Yeah. And I mean, a fresh burrito, dangerous as it is. A week-old burrito?
That's a bomb.
That is
waiting to explode.
In your guts.
God.
Oh, and this just in, we have a new record, ladies and gentlemen. 19 runs scored by the Padres.
My hype train was wrong. I did not win. Oh, by the way, a lot of people saying Cam Chancellor would be their choice.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. Quicker than Aaron Donald.
For sure. And very intimidating as well with the dark visor.
Ooh, he should have the dark visor helmet on when he fights him.
Yeah.
What I need to know, are you guys watching season 50 of Survivor? What's your take on the first 2 episodes and players standing out to you? If you'll allow us a moment here for just 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
take the floor.
Yes, I am watching Survivor 50. I did not finish episode 2 yet. It was just getting too late, and I was like, I'm going to save this.
It was so recent, so we'll avoid spoilers.
Yeah.
I think we avoid spoilers entirely. It was just yesterday.
But it's a great cast. I kind of wish they had gone with a few more older contestants, like some of the new ones, because Savannah, I believe, had won the previous season to this.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rizzo also, same thing. I don't know. I grew up on the older contestants in Survivor. Like, I have not missed an episode in my life. The show's been on 25 years now. And I think it would be cooler to see some of the older players kind of adapt themselves to the way the game is currently played.
Good point.
Yeah.
And perfect answer. I think that the gameplay is just really cool. Lots of smart people, smart players.
It is weird, though, to see some of the older players who I viewed them when they were much younger, like in their mid-20s and early 30s, who are now like in their early 50s.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you've got gray hair. What do you mean Ozzy's got back problems? Like, he was the best athlete in the show's history.
All right. I'll keep moving on because I know not everyone watches, but we had to get that out of our system. What I need to know I love this question. After a scorching start to his career, I think Russ played his way out of the Hall of Fame. What I need to know, after a slow start to his career, what does Sam Darnold need to do to play his way in?
That's a great question.
And I love the way it's framed. Good job, 206. That's a segment.
Yeah. I kind of view Sam Darnold's Hall of Fame potential, which is a sentence I don't think has ever been uttered in human history.
Also answers where he's at right now.
Yeah, exactly. I think if he wins 2 more Super Bowls, then it's time to start having conversations. It's kind of like Kurt Warner in a way.
I was just going to say that, but I'm trying to be better about interrupting.
I'll let you run with it then.
I was leaning in, waiting to go, Kurt Warner. But, so I was going to ask you, actually, the reason I was going to interrupt is I was going to flip it back quickly. Kurt Warner appeared in 2-1-1?
Appeared in 3-1-1.
Oh, 1-1.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple Super Bowl appearances, setting some records, and just very clearly becoming, I think he'd have to pass what Russ did.
Yeah.
I think you have to become one of the best quarterbacks for that franchise, where people think like it wasn't just, oh, we got such a bargain from Sam Darnold. It becomes part of your Mount Rushmore debates.
Yeah.
If you're not having any kind of ever Mount Rushmore debate that involves that person.
Right. I think I'd give him another Super Bowl, give him 2 more Super Bowls. He's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Which is wild to think about considering the start to his career. And I think for Russ, I think 206 might be right. I think had his career ended in 2021.
Like by injury.
Yeah, and we never saw him play again after that.
Yep.
Then he's probably in the Hall of
Agreed.
Fame.
Not first ballot, but I think he makes it.
Yeah.
What I need to know, Man Crosby versus Bear Crosby, who will win? This is when I asked, my hype train was Max Crosby will become a bear, and Curtis asked, is it by the power of science?
Through the power of science or
Someone
via
wants to
trade?
know, Man Crosby versus Bear Crosby.
I'll take Bear Crosby. No one's beating a bear. No matter how often Dave Wyman says he thinks he can beat a bear.
Okay, because I was going to say there are studies that like a larger percentage of men than you would think, because I don't know how many women I know think they could beat a bear. But
beat a bear in a fight?
I think an unhealthy percentage of human men think they could beat a bear in a fight.
You're insane if you think that.
Well, I'm not saying it's a lot. I'm saying that somewhere out there is a human being who thinks, I got speed.
Maybe an infant bear, but not a full-grown one.
Well, because I think people start thinking like, okay, what if I, punch it in its neck or like gouge out its eyes?
You're going to do nothing if you punch it in its neck.
Yeah. That bear is just going to
He's going
tear
to laugh
you to shreds.
and backhand slap you.
I'm going to search percentage of people who think they could beat a bear. I think that this is... Okay, I'm not going to Google on air. I have other things to do. I have to get you guys out of here and on to the next show.
Yeah, we're done. You have all day to Google this now.
Thank you, Curtis, for helping out today. Wyman and Bob coming up next on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Brock and Salk at Mariners spring training.
With Julio Rodriguez, who sits down with us right now. How long did that loss, that linger for a day, a week, a month?
So once you get a taste of like that, what an actual playoff is, and you experience that as a team, I feel like you just get addicted to it. That gets addicting, at least for me, and like being able to be so close to something so special as a group, I think it really made this team hungry.
Catch every one of Brock and Salk's interviews from Mariners spring training on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Hey, Brock Heward here with Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come work with IRG. And Shannon, what kind of staff are you looking for at IRG?
Brock, we're looking for all kinds of clinical staff, physical therapists, occupational therapists, athletic trainers, certified occupational therapy technicians, physical therapy assistants, you name it on the clinical side. We are looking for those folks. But we are really looking for folks that want to come to an organization that want to be part of our culture and change the culture and work with us to provide the best care and service we can to our patients, our team, and our community. So those clinical people out there, we're looking for you. We also provide advanced certification. We want to provide you mentorship. We want you to grow personally and professionally here at IRG.
With over 40 clinics throughout the Pacific Northwest, you've got the opportunity to work in the city you want. Just head over to irgpt.com/careers. That's irgpt.com/careers.
The madness tips off next week, and with it comes your chance to win the Seattle Sports Bracket Bucks, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Head to seattlesports.com/win to pre-register. Receive your bracket and compete for your shot at great prizes. The grand prize winner from the 64-team bracket will win $1,000 in Visa gift cards. But if your bracket is busted in the first round, we have other ways for you to play too. Register and find complete rules at seattlesports.com/win.
Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel welcomes Seattle Golf Show March 13th through 15th at Puyallups Washington State Fair Event Center. Parking's free. Get front door bonus golf, see 100 exhibits, top courses, and shop big brands with Putts Golf. Tickets, seattlegolfshow.com.
Do you need a new roof? Then trust your neighbors at 3 Tree Roofing to get you taken care of this spring. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and secure $500 off your roof replacement. Right now, you can still take advantage of spring pricing and beat the summer rush. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here. The championship trophy is back in Seattle where it belongs. The big game is in the rear view, and the next big moment is going to be baseball's opening day. Well, why don't you make a commitment right now to look and feel your very best by then? People all over the Northwest could lose 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 pounds just by the start of baseball season. And it starts by calling Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. A 15-minute phone call is all it takes to get started. I did this program. I lost 10 pounds in the first week. I lost about 35 pounds in just 8 weeks. Here's what I didn't have to do. Fight for space in a crowded gym with all those New Year's resolutioners. No pills, no injections, no fake bland box meals or anything like that. Just real food that you buy at the grocery store with delicious recipes, great coaching, support, and accountability. Do it for yourself this year. Call Eastside Weight Loss Clinic or go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners,